The other thing I wanted to introduce, I'm recording now. One of the other things I wanted to introduce for this session for more people, but that we will not be doing, which I am patently stealing, is Fang Facts.
Fang Facts.
Um,
Fang Facts.
So, there's a D&D actual play podcast called Dungeons and Daddies, which is very funny. But one of the things they do at the beginning of our session is Dad Facts, where you just say a thing that is true about your character, and it helps fill in some of the, like, roleplay gaps, because if these characters were alive and actually in the presence of each other, they would learn these things gradually in the course of interactions and small talk and conversations and things like that. But because we don't play all of that, we have Fang Facts, where you get to say a thing about your character, and by get to, I mean have to. It's mandatory. To share with the class. Get to pick a new fact that people don't know about you already.
Oh man.
And it can be extremely trivial. Like, what kind of music does your character like? What is their what was their favorite thing to eat when they were still mortal? What kind of vehicles do they use? Do they have access to vehicles? What's decorating their haven? Just random shit like that. I also plan on pouring through the Ultimate RPG Character backstory book, because it's got a bunch of like questionnaires and stuff into it, and like having a collective question that I can ask everyone.
Oh, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good fact. This is kind of hard, actually. Wait a minute.
Plus, I don't really know my character that well yet. You know, like I've only inhabited them once.
Gotta make up a new random fact.
Here's a fun one that ties into with some vampire lore, broadly speaking. Does your character have any tattoos?
Ooh.
And what of? And if they don't, what do they think about tattoos? Because there's a fun thing about vampires, broadly speaking, which is that if you got a tattoo before you became a vampire, it is now permanent, obviously. Not that it wasn't before, but, you know, even more so
in a different
now.
way, yeah. In a different sense.
And tattoos count as effectively body scarring and damage and whatnot. So every morning after you go into torpor and wake up again, any tattoos you got the previous night are now gone. So you cannot get tattooed after you are turned, which turns into this fun little social thing with vampires, which is some sires mandate that their childer get tattoos before they're embraced. As like, you know, little marks and stuff like that, which is, you know, indicative of some of the kinds of relationships that occur between vampires.
Yeah. Oh boy.
It's usually a clan symbol that happens pretty frequently. Sometimes it's more personal or more detailed than that. There are rumors that in Chicago there is a kindred tattoo artist that can give people tattoos past embrace. But they're very secretive about it.
I'll go ahead and say Constance doesn't have any. But I think what makes it, I think generally most like highly religious orders tend to have very negative ideals about tattoos. But Constance is actually, like, of her order, probably the most open-minded towards that kind of thing. And just really doesn't have a problem with people, like, expressing themselves. Like, just does not bother her.
I'm trying to wonder whether or not my sire would have required that. Because
the Toreador are definitely some of the people who are more likely to request
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
Because your sire is you're not, Annabelle isn't your sire.
No.
It's, did we name your sire?
We did. His name is Malpheus.
Yes. Thank you for telling. The whole character leapt fully formed back into my brain from when we talked about it 5 weeks ago. Yes, Malpheus is pretty old school. It's pretty like, because especially since y'all are more in the like musician performance art side of things, it's a lot less likely than if you were like embraced by a painter or something.
Gotcha.
I think like they probably brought it up as an option, not as like a mandate thing, but just kind of as a like, you know, like as a thing Toreador do. Sometimes they do like a rose on like the shoulder or like the like base of the collarbone or whatever. And if you want to do that, sure. If you want to like it the way Malpheus looks at it is like frat boy shit, right? Like it's cute, it's fun, it's like upholding the whole clan thing, but like in the grand scheme of things, he just doesn't really give a shit.
I could see. I don't think that Sebastian got one for the Toreador. I think Sebastian got one probably a couple years before he was embraced. It's probably like a small little like treble clef.
musician.
Like somewhere like not obvious.
Upper ankle, sock
like
zone.
upper ankle, or maybe like a small one like by his ear or something like that. Just some like wherever it is, it's not like, unless you're looking for it, you're not going to really see it.
Sure, yeah. Cool. That was Fang Facts.
Fang Facts.
I was trying to come up with a bunch of different cute names for it, so.
I think that one's pretty good.
it
I
works
also
in
like
this
Fang
context.
Facts. We'll see if we continue calling them Fang Facts if we play other systems. Well, because that's so one of the things other people have said is they've also adopted that as like a thing to do in tabletop RPGs, but they just kept calling them dad facts, even divorced from the context of the actual play podcast, which I think is very funny.
It's really good, yeah.
So, we were following up very closely after the end of last session, where Sylvia informed you both that she would be assembling the coterie together the following evening at 2 a.m. And both of you are expected to be there. She's kind of alluded to the idea that there will be others involved in this coterie, but has not made explicit who that will be necessarily. So currently you are simply expected to be in Tartarus at 2 a.m. To meet with Sylvia and figure out what to do from there. Is there anything either of you had that was pressing from between that point in time, between the previous evening and this time?
What day would you say it is?
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
It's
Okay.
Saturday. It's just easier.
That's fair. I'm trying to think when night classes might be.
Night classes.
Weekday nights, sometimes on Sundays if they're doing extra tutoring. Because you're teaching, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And this is who's your student is late high school, early college age, right?
Yeah. We hadn't named them, but
Allie?
I have.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Please.
I named her Martha.
Martha.
After the after the pianist Martha Argerich, because she deserves it.
Fun. Okay, cool.
Martha.
Yeah. So Martha's like late high school, early college age, right?
Yeah.
She's really looking forward to trying to get into her conservatorship. And definitely going in for the extra tutoring. This is not part of the course itself, but is rather just kind of this external thing that she's really doing and has been going pretty ham on night classes for a while now.
She's good.
I'd say probably more on the weekends, since this isn't part of official curriculum. She probably has other stuff she needs to be doing during the actual like school week itself of classes. So yeah, there's probably lessons this weekend in the evenings.
Yeah, so Sebastian would probably be attending to that beforehand, and it wouldn't go until 2 a.m. It'd be like,
Yeah,
8, 9 p.m. or something.
This is probably like, do you do like 90-minute 2-hour lessons? Shorter than that, maybe an hour, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like let's say like 9:30 to 11.
Sure.
Because like past midnight, it's kind of like, all right, this is kind of a weird time to be doing this, but all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got lessons that evening. Would you like to play a little bit of that out?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Martha's. Are you early, late, or are you prepared? Do you have materials prepared? What's Martha learning right now?
So both of us, like, not together but separately, are like trying to like get into a concert program sort of thing.
Okay.
And I literally have concert music picked out for the both of us in a playlist.
Excellent.
So right now she's trying to learn like a piano. I think what we're learning right now is like a piano rendition of the Preludium and Allegro, by like the violin piece for violin, but it's for piano.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. So she's there like exactly on time. Maybe literally like a minute, meaning 60 seconds before. And is like, regardless of when you get there, is just like very ready to get into it as soon as you arrive.
I think Sebastian's like evening mantra, like what he starts when he wakes up, is he'll like say hello to everybody, and I'll keep that very DL about who I'm talking about. And then he goes, I think, especially on the weekends, he goes to this place to practice. Because it'd probably be like a, I'm trying to think of the names of these places, but they're like musical co-ops essentially, where like you have a room and inside of the room is like a piano, or like, you kind of can set up your own little space there. I think he has something like that set up for himself.
Cool.
Where he could just go like any time of day. He's got a key for it, so he's in there.
Is this your haven?
Up, no,
because you have a row house, right, or something.
Yeah, they have like a 2-story or
cool.
something somewhere. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if he wakes up at 8 o'clock, he's probably there by 9.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you are there when she arrives, and she cracks open the door.
He's probably doing his own thing, like warming up and all that kind of stuff.
And she's very like, hey, happy to glad to see you again. Are we gonna get right into it?
Yeah. You've had a week to practice. Show me what you got.
Yeah. And she like sits down and starts playing, and it's good. It's definitely improved over past week. There's a particularly difficult section that the two of you noted last time, and actually like wrote out all the fingering for on the sheet music itself to make sure that you can get these rolls. I don't know anything about the piece you picked out. And she's very clearly practiced that pretty intensely as like a segment that she has picked out. But you can tell that like that's the only section she practiced, because the transitions into that section and out of that section are pretty rough. And also like the rest of the piece is the same. So practiced, but maybe not like holistically, or maybe as much as would be preferred.
Okay. I think Sebastian just kind of is like standing there, arms crossed, not like judgmentally, but kind of like listening and thinking after she finishes, and goes, "All right. Well, two things. One, the hard section coming together sounds really good.
Yeah. Good.
Still needs a little bit more polish. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
However, the rest of the piece, it seems to me like you've not really touched it. So,
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a weird week, but you know.
that's fine. It's hard sometimes for me to like assign work to people, right? Because you're paying me, but that doesn't mean that you have to
Sure. Yeah. No, I get it.
do anything with that. And I don't want to be here and like be harsh about it.
Sorry, I just got flashbacks to when I used to take music lessons a lot.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I talk to some of my
I have some music teachers who would disagree with that pretty heavily. Anyway.
Well, they can get fucked.
They can. You're right.
I'm always like, listen, I know you pay me, but also I feel weird giving you assignments because it's not like I can fucking grade you and then you get like credit.
Right. She's like, you
Yeah.
gotta want to be here, and then you get into situations where you don't want to be here, and then you cry in the piano teacher's office a few times.
Plus.
Oops.
Look, I was 10. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I started piano very young before I wanted to, and I'm glad I did it. But also, I did
That's
not want to
cool.
do it, and my piano teacher sucked ass.
It's a lot of pressure.
She was rude. Anyway.
All right, so we've got. Let me look at my clock here. We've got about 85, 87, or not 87, like 80, about 80 minutes left. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna worry about the part that you practiced. That part,
Sick.
you're good with. The rest of it, we're gonna go over kind of section by section, and we'll see what's tripping you up, and we'll go from there. Take our
All right.
usual break and whatnot. So let's start from the beginning again and stop. Kind of. And he like points at a certain
Like
section.
B
Like, Stop
section.
about here. Yeah. I couldn't think of. I thought of B, and I was like, "What is B? B
What
means
is B?
nothing."
Me section. Oh.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, and you do it. You do lessons.
Yeah.
And you roll through it a few times. You go over some rough patches. You kind of clarify. I think one of the things you smooth out on this is the transitions itself. Because you've got like most of the piece down. It's like you're in the state of the music where like you can play it, but you have to now get to the point where you can actually perform it. Like you're imbuing it with like dynamics and feeling,
Yeah.
and actually getting the expression of the piece across rather than just the notes. So like, yeah, really pressing into some of the more emotive portions of the piece and so on. Yeah, so 90 minutes later, and Martha's just like, oh shit, all right, that was it, huh?
Yeah, well, we did some good work today, and just keep it up as you can.
Question.
Yeah.
DM question.
Yeah.
You don't have any of the features that allow you to maintain your living identity, correct?
What do you mean by that?
So you're dead. Do you still have a bank account? Or does Martha pay you in cash?
That's a really good question.
And and that's mostly a mechanical question, because there are
Yeah.
features that allow you to maintain like finances and a living. It's called a mask. Is like your human mortal identity, which is usually your mask is usually not your actual living identity, because
Right.
usually people know when a person disappears, broadly speaking. So
Like, oh, right, and we're not even living in the era of like Cash App and Venmo, where
right.
like you
So
don't
this is
necessarily.
like capital C credit cards and checks and bank accounts.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that like most transactions between mortals and kindred happen in cash, except for those who have specifically purposefully maintained either their previous identities or false identities.
So I'm looking at my sheet and I'm thinking like I've got, and I'll send you this actually because I forgot to do that since I fixed it up a little. Is I have a dot in finance, I have a dot in technology. My thought is probably I do have a bank account
I think
under
that
this
is
new one.
having a dot in both of those. I think means that like you don't have any like special powers based on those, but you
No.
have a bank account. Like you can perform rudimentary transactions.
Yeah, I think she probably does pay me in cash, but I think he also does have a bank account.
Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, then at the end she like gives you a wad of cash,
Yeah.
which is like maybe a little weird as far as like paying private tutors goes, but like it's fine, and this is just how you've always done it.
That's freelance, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So how's your piece coming? You know, in the like area of DM speak, like post lesson where it's just like, well, we're done and now we can just like chat a little bit while we're both preparing to do other things.
Yeah. What would Sebastian say? I actually, before we do that, how would you make a like piano performance check?
I would say that would be performance, and then depending on what you want to do, intelligence, wits, charisma, or composure.
Oh wow. So like performing would probably be like actual performing for people, probably composure, performance.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's what you're trying to do. If you are trying to create a great piece of art, I think that would be charisma performance. If you are trying to do something that is very technically difficult, I think that would be intelligence performance. If you were trying to maintain your cool and keep a very level head in difficult performance conditions, I think that would be composure performance. I think if you were doing like a rap battle or trying to be particularly clever or whatever, that would be a wits performance.
Sure. Okay. I'm just gonna roll a quick intelligence performance check just to see like where he's at with
how you've like technically been able to deal with the piece.
Yeah. Okay. He got 2 successes. That's not terrible.
Yeah. That's like you did it well. Like especially since in performance means like technically, right? So like you hit the notes. You like with 2 hits you've probably memorized it.
Yeah.
Like the actual like emotive aspects of the piece are like maybe a little rough, but like you've got the piece down broadly speaking.
Okay, so in that case, he would say,
I'm actually going to roll that for her, too.
Oh, yeah.
She gets 2 dice. Because she's immortal.
I have 4.
She also rolled 2 successes. So yeah, like,
nice.
This was a good lesson. Like, she improved a lot.
Good.
Clearly very engaged, like, with this situation today.
Yeah. Okay, so Sebastian would be like, where are you on your picture? I'm doing all right with it. It's I hold myself to a very high standard. It's not quite where I want it to be yet. It's very, as you know, it's very technically complicated. And trying to express oneself while still like making sure that you're doing the thing correctly. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So it's coming along, but it's
oh sure, all right.
It's been a process.
That's good. Yeah. All right. Well, see you next week.
Yep, I'll be here.
All right. Seems like you live here sometimes. All right.
The first laugh was a Sebastian laugh, and then the second laugh was me laughing at his laugh because it was so like.
Secondary question for you, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Do you blush of life for these lessons?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Would you mind rolling a rouse for me then?
I
To
was
cover
say.
for that?
That is a 6.
All right, then you're good. You rouse and you don't get hungrier. So yeah, she has no reason to think that anything is
Suspect
different or weird
anything.
or wrong. Like you're just her cool, kind of weird nocturnal music tutor.
Well,
and she's
you know,
getting
a lot
better.
of-
Like
A
you,
lot
how?
of people
oh,
leave you
probably-
alone.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
And
just
then you
leaving a place
go
for.
and you go home to your two floor, your 2-story.
To my 2-story. Yeah, so it's probably like what, 11:30 by the
Do you
time
have
I
a
get
phone?
there?
Because
I don't
you
know.
especially as connected as you are in the Camarilla, you know that it's like super not allowed, and like you are at a level of status that you would get into trouble if they knew you had one. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't have one or that it would stop you. And in some cases, like certain members of like even Camarilla Society do like cell phones specifically in this era because they can't do a whole lot yet. They're literally just cell phones. Oh no, this is the year Minecraft came out, so we're at like Nokia era. We're like early smartphone.
It's got Tetris on it.
Maybe some Ventru have like Blackberries, and you've got
It's
like
got
slide out
Snake.
keyboards. But like
Snake on my Nokia.
there are some, like most notably, at least for your exposure, the sheriff, the Prince's Sheriff, he has a phone and uses it fairly frequently.
I was wondering how they would feel about pagers.
About the same they would feel about phones.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they're just very... No technology allowed.
Must be
Well,
analog.
I think he definitely does have a pager because I
Cool.
think because I have a retainer, I think that retainer, I almost want them to be my driver, if that's allowed.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have a car. What's your car look like?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Hang on while I furiously Google
Also-
2011 cars.
Your retainer is, I don't actually know the rules around retainer. Retainer's a boon that you have, right? Like one of your little dot benefits.
Yeah, I've got 2 dots in it.
I'm gonna see what that gets you.
I do forget.
There are so many rules in this game. And I've been playing it for so little time.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice looking car.
Oh yeah? What is it?
I don't know if it actually came out in 2011.
It doesn't have to.
All right.
You can make believe.
Yeah.
This is our world.
It's a text for voice, probably.
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
Just to illustrate. Oh. Hell yeah. BMW.
That is a very... I think you would need at least 3 dots in finance to have that car.
That's fair. It's very cute, though.
I'll let you
I
have like
it.
a classic. Like something nice.
Yeah,
but
let me look.
probably
at,
not like a sports car. Nothing like... You can have something that you would take to a car show, but probably nothing that you would race, that you would like... That looks like it could street race.
Yeah. I think he's got like an old Mustang or something like that. That's
Yeah,
kind of my
nice.
thought. Like, I don't know. Maybe that. Something like that.
Oh, fun. With the
Yeah.
racy stripes. I like that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Is it okay, but is it black? Is it black with the white stripes? Or is it blue?
I don't know.
Is
I
it a
like
color?
both.
I like this
both.
dark blue. This dark blue's nice. It would look nice
Yeah.
at nighttime because it's that
Yeah, do you wear colors?
deep blue.
Or have you adopted the kindred way of no colors allowed, only black?
I think if he's just hanging out, or if he's not doing anything like related to his official Camarilla job or with official Camarilla people, if he's not doing that, then he's just in street clothes. If he is, then he's in all black. Like he's gonna show up in all black at Sylvia's
At events.
place.
Like he understands the dress code, the informal dress code, or the unspoken dress code.
Like I'm sure here he probably was wearing like not a goofy shirt, but he's probably wearing like a button down jeans, rolled up cuffs, you know.
Sure. So retainers. 2 dots is a ghoul, a family servant, a human lover, or a dominated thrall. Give them a backstory. Build them as an average mortal or a ghoul with no advantages. So either they're like a person who is like devoted to you, but not in like like they're not gonna die for you, but they're like they'll do what you want, kind of way. And that can be either a living mortal person or a ghoul. If you're gonna have them be like a driver, like if you're going to have them be like a functionally like just like labor for you, I would probably recommend making them a ghoul.
Yeah. Ghouls are not necessarily vampires, are they?
No, so ghouls are like
people who drank your blood.
Right, they're like half zombies, half vampires.
Okay.
The reason they denote that the ghoul has no advantages at 2 dots is so like if you had 3 dots, for example, or more, ghoulish allies can have some like gifts of the blood, and do interesting and surprising and weird magical blood fuckery.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they're just like a ghoul with no advantages, like is loyal to you, can go out during the day, can do other stuff, but has other advantages like they don't have to sleep or eat, and they're like fun. They're not technically immortal, but like their aging is slowed down a whole lot.
Longer.
So
yeah, I think a ghoul makes more sense.
Sure. Who is it? Like, who are they to you?
I almost feel like this was a gift from Malpheus. This was like a 10th unbirthday gift.
Funny. That's great.
10th unbirthday.
And so, like, this person didn't mean anything to me. And, like, we're still trying to get to know each other a little bit.
Sure. Then I think if I would be so bold to propose a dynamic,
Sure.
you two are like, it's like coworkers. Like you're not really, you don't really have any relationship to each other other than like this person was made a ghoul by Malpheus, and they probably actually do care about Malpheus somewhat. Enough like you don't just ghoul anyone.
Yeah.
So this is maybe like a different student of Malpheus that was maybe not good enough to become a fully embraced kindred. So they became a ghoul, and now they do manual labor for Malpheus. So they're just kind of around, and the two of you are like you cooperate, you like each other well enough, right? But you're not really like actively engaged. But now that this dude, let's give this person a name. Trent?
Ooh.
No.
I don't know why my brain supplied Guy. He's just named Guy.
His name is Guy. Well, I was thinking that it would be fun if he was actually he was very old actually, not like physically in body, but like became a ghoul in like
his
the 30s.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Not like his 30s, like the
Yeah,
30s,
no,
like the
30s.
1930s.
Oh, very much an older gentleman.
Yeah.
Doug.
Doug?
Doug is
This should
pretty
be
good.
Master.
Doug? We like Doug? Alright, Doug.
Something about Doug.
Yeah. And like used to do more I think Doug was big in the early blues scene.
Mm.
It's Chicago. And when blues kind of went out of style, they're a driver now. He's just like, let's give Doug a... I did say blues. Can I do a gravel voice?
He probably would have been a blues pianist, so, was he even a singer?
Well, he wasn't a good enough blues pianist, apparently. So
Not for Malleus's taste, yeah.
and look, if you did blues music in the 30s, you smoked at least a pack of unfiltered cigarettes a day. So
You know what? That's true. That is true.
Hey, hey, Sebastian.
Oh.
What?
Just physically reacting to that voice.
Yeah. Well,
Good mute.
I know these streets like the back of my hand.
Good.
I guess. I don't know. These are things that Doug is just saying to Doug off somewhere else. Anyway, so
As he drives alone.
yeah, he's just like, all right, gotta get some popcorn. Not really doing much. Ghouls can eat. That's fun. You can't. He can. So, I think like if you're not doing anything, I think Doug is just like continues to peruse. I think when you are not actively engaged with Doug, Doug is effectively a talent agent. For Malpheus. He's like, and he does it in the blues scene because that's where he's always been. He's kind of a blues cryptid.
I like that.
Because he's been around
good.
for a very long time and has been like a patron with clearly all of the wealth of like Malpheus, who is a pretty high tier Toreador in Chicago. So like he very much has the power to just like, I like this guy. Gig. Work. Stuff. Maybe become a kindred. Like just start people's careers. But he's not signing people with anything. He's just like, here's a bucket of money, play at this club. And people do it, and then like they get surprised when the shows are like 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and everyone's wearing black, and there's kind of a weird dynamic, and everyone's kind of pale, but like they're into it, so they play, and then people go, oh, that's very nice, and sometimes they die. So
it's fine.
That's kind of Doug's life.
Can I just say very quickly, Blues Cryptid might be the best sentence I've ever heard you utter.
Blues Cryptid's pretty good. I like it a lot.
That was very good.
Especially because like I've gone to some blues clubs in Chicago, and like I've met blues cryptids. Like they exist. They're just real. You should go. Chicago has a really wild blues scene, and you should go to some blues bars. They're great and kind of spooky sometimes. Not because of the people, just because like you feel it is a different subculture. You step in there and it's like this is a different environment than 5 feet past the glass of the front door.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating and really interesting. And Doug is there.
Perfect.
But he also drives you around and helps you with stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna page him and then just kind of tinker around while I wait for him.
Sure. You see Martha walk out of the music building and just like waits for the bus. Let's see if your dice hold up from your last character. Give me a wits awareness roll.
Oh boy. What's my wits and what's my awareness? Oh, it's less.
I am going to be transparent and say you just need 1 success.
Well, I got 2.
All right, that's more than 1 success. Yeah, so you can tell after Martha leaves the building that she's like kind of worried about something in the abstract, in the kind of like she's watching her phone really hard and like walking kind of fast and like clearly anxious about waiting for the bus to come, and when it does come she like very quickly gets on it and leaves. It's like it's the posture, you know. She's concerned about broad strokes something.
Okay.
And then Doug gets there and rolls up in this very cool, very nice classic car. I think it's Doug's car. I think Doug picked the car. It may be your car. No,
but Doug
I think
picked
it. Yeah, Doug likes this car.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He was probably. Well, no, actually, if he was in the blue scene in the 30s, I was going to say he probably grew up with this, but no, he'd be a little bit older than that. So.
Probably. So, what can I do for you today, bud? What's a good nickname for you from Doug that you probably dislike?
Oh God.
I like Bud. Sucker. That's too like 60s, I think. Sport.
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 Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. I do hate that.
Perfect. Then I have done my job. What's on the plan tonight, sport?
Well, we're going home.
All right. Get the fuck in.
I do.
And he drives you back to your little two-story.
Sweet. As I get out of the car, I'm like, hang on, hold tight for like 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna go get changed, and then I've got an appointment to keep.
Sure. And he stops the car, like parks it on the drive, pulls the keys out of the ignition, and has a smoke on the side of the car.
All right, and I go inside.
Who's home right now? This is just a Sebastian time now.
We get to learn a lot about Sebastian all at once.
Explore the little
Well, so here's the thing, though.
life.
I think most of your partners are either out or asleep. Who's there right? Cass is there right now.
Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
And that's it?
Yeah, she's the only one awake.
Okay.
I think, and I haven't memorized all of your dynamics yet. I've been meaning to make a character chart, and I haven't yet.
That's fine.
Collective.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. She's making super late night pancakes in the kitchen. And she's like very underdressed, like tank top and boxers and like flip-flops. And you come in and she's just like, hey.
Hey, what's oh, you got pancakes going, all right.
Yeah, just super fucking hungry, and it's just, we got it, so.
Yeah.
How's your lesson?
Went pretty good. Went really good, actually. Martha's really coming along. Really
Good.
proud of her.
Good. Yeah, glad to hear that.
Do you work today or no?
Nah.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Overshifted. It's a whole fucking thing.
It always is.
Anyway. Back to my pancakes.
Well, enjoy them. I wish I could, because they smell really good.
Well, maybe someday.
All right. Yeah, and he goes and gets dressed.
Yep, and you do, and you get dressed. And Cass isn't like pointedly ignoring you for the rest of your time you're in the house. she's just like, you know, when you can get like the clear impression that like someone just doesn't want to interact with other people right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but not in a malicious way, just in like, I'm gonna leave them alone and go on with your day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the aura she's giving off.
That's fine. That's fair. She's busy.
Yeah.
She's got a hard life.
It's got a lot going on. Yeah, and then you can head out back for Tartarus.
I'm
Alright.
so deeply curious.
So, Sister Constance. Earlier in the evening, like basically upon awakening, for the evening where you are intended to gather, Sister Mary gets your attention and is just like, I take it you've also been requested at Tartarus this evening? Likely?
Oh, I hadn't realized that you were also.
Give Mary a voice. I want to start doing character voices again, so I get in the habit.
I believe in you.
Especially since there are more NPCs all the time.
Yeah.
All right, I was gonna try and give her a very like a bit of a breathy one. Because that seemed appropriate, I guess. Yes. I was informed by Sylvia by courier that we would be meeting at 2 a.m. this evening.
Well, you are more than welcome to walk with me. In fact, it's probably for the best.
I'd prefer it, yes. And I'll be bringing a number of supplies, so.
Oh. Good.
And she's like basically got like when it gets closer to time to actually leave, she's got like.
Oh, I should probably do a rouse check, right?
A bag. You should.
Oh shit. Ah, fuck. That was a 2.
Ah, well, you get hungrier. I should roll for Mary.
Oh, I hate that my stupid sheet.
Mary also gets hungrier.
Shit. I'm hungry as shit.
Like 2.
Yeah.
Not like super hungry. Brother Joseph shared last night. There was a bit of a blood bag fountain situation. So, the blood bags are going faster than you'd hoped.
I was about to say, how many of those do we have left? Because I haven't. Where's my notes about that?
Joseph has been rationing them pretty hard, insofar as very much like, Joseph hunts.
Okay.
And he hunts with,
Where did I not take notes?
I'm gonna have to actually name all of the members of your group at some point just for usefulness.
Yeah.
Hunts in pairs, which as you should be right now, generally speaking.
Yes, that was.
But Brother Joseph is very much like, all right, cool. Who's like in a mechanical sense, he's kind of like a who's above 3 hunger and needs to have blood, and then he drinks the blood bags and disseminates it to other people.
Yeah.
Mostly just because like he has a better time, because he's got Iron Gullet. Brother John has Iron Gullet, and you have Iron Gullet. Not that is a huge problem, but just like he's basically keeping them from having to experience that. And also, he also gets some of his own kicks. Drinking from each other's fun sometimes. And you can tell that there's a bit of like he very clearly cares about the convent as a whole and the health and hunger of its inhabitants. But also like he's not enjoying it. So, be that as it may.
Sister Constance does not fucking judge. She's basically doing literally the same exact thing.
Right.
Like, so her basic routine has become wake up, do her prayers, check on everyone, maybe take care of herself, and then go do the things that she needs to go do. Yeah, also the night before, she had written a note for Mother, and a note for Esther.
Yes.
I don't know if she would have had time to get them out.
If you didn't last night, you will this evening.
Okay.
Because you've got from vaguely 8 p.m. until 2 a.m. So you've got quite a bit of time to get them either to... probably just one of your internal couriers. Like, there's someone within the convent structure. I think I will do a little bit more, not like strictly, but like architecting out, like, okay, how many members are there? I know that there are some non-kindred, and clearly there are some ghouls because there's some utility. So there's some stuff going on. Because I know y'all don't technically have herd.
Yeah.
As a trait. Yeah. So you all do still have to hunt, and that situation may change, but currently. So yeah, you get that out.
Okay, great.
But yeah, the evening of meeting up with the coterie, Sister Mary has like, what do I want it to look like? It's not like a backpack, and it's not like a sling bag. She has like a spell bag, basically, that's got
Maybe
like...
just a tote. Maybe just a tote. Yeah,
because it's got like a number of items that you may or may not be familiar with. I'm gonna actually have you make a super low stakes roll. That's the thing I'm homebrewing into this game, by the way. Which is low stakes rolls, which is just like stuff like just knowledge rolls and some maybe some observational stuff where it's like, you should not need to worry about frenzying on this roll. Like, it's just a gut check of like, do you know this? Is this around? Can you do that? Like, it's not a big deal. So yeah, int occult.
Int occult. Okay.
Intelligence occult.
So 3. Oh god, I have so many fucking dice. That's a lot of dice for me.
I mean, good. You've been paying attention in blood sorcery class.
5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, perfect. And Jesus Christ. Gently pours all the dice so they don't go flying everywhere. That's a 9. Oh jeez. 9, 6, 6, 5. This is a lot of 7, 8, 2.
You said 9, 6, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And 8.
Here, I'll do it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, and then a 2 at the end. 2 and the 5 were hunger die.
So 5 successes.
Yes.
You know exactly what is in this bag.
Okay.
That is a lot of successes.
There's a lot of fucking dice.
You know that is a lot of dice. You're good at this. You know weird occult shit. That's just true. That's just a true thing about your character. So she's packing. Basically, you can tell that she's kind of like fucking going all out. Like, this is the equivalent of like bringing the entire armory if it was like weird witchy shit.
Bug out bag, but for
well, so she has notably candles of coagulated vitae, an assortment of bones and runed bones, feathers of a few different kinds, 2 different vials of different types of blood, different flavors of blood. That's like been messed with in a specific way. It's not for drinking.
Right.
And like a bunch of chalk and like charcoal sticks and like some herby kind of things and a pretty wicked looking knife.
Holy
like she's being very capital Boy Scouts prepared. So yeah, that's what she's packing.
Now I'm imagining like almost like an apothecary box.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm just trying to think of what would not look completely unnatural for someone in the garb of a traditional nun to be carrying.
I mean, honestly, probably just like a duffel bag.
Yeah, just like a simple kind of black bag.
Goodness. Okay. I think seeing Sister Mary so prepared puts her a little at ease. But she wants to go around and just kind of do a vibe check on the congregation. Particularly Brother John.
Yeah. Do you want to roll for that?
Yes. Of course.
Go ahead and give me... So, are you just trying to observe? Not trying to, like, do anything? Just trying to get a solid handle on the situation?
She'll just kind of, like, pass by everyone and greet them, and just keep moving along.
Sure. Wits Insight?
It's... Many much dice. Many much dice. Okay, and then I'll exchange these two for... My headset keeps wanting to fall off. Okay. 10, 8, 7, 5, 2.
10... Sorry, could you read that off again?
10, 8, 7, 5, 2.
So, 3 successes. Yeah, so, like, congregation as a whole is, like, fine. They're actually probably better than you... They're not as at unease. You were only informed yesterday. Have you informed any of them of the situation?
No, because she was specifically told not to.
Makes sense.
She has been... She has told everyone to hunt in pairs and do not, like, go too far.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can, preferably just hunt at places that they already know are safe, like
Right.
Tartarus and whatnot. But she has not really given them any details as to why. Yeah. Mostly, I think she's mostly attributed it to things that can be kind of chalked up as, like, common knowledge, so, like, the fire and certain things.
Just kind of the general weirdness that's been going on. Just like, it's dangerous. Be careful. It's a new city. What is
right? Exactly.
Such and such.
Stranger danger.
To your second point, John's doing very well. He's very happy and very well fed.
Good for him. All right. I think sensing that, she feels content to move on with her day.
Sure thing. So, shortly thereafter, roughly around 2 p.m., I feel like I always like to ask when people arrive, when there is an appointed time, or when there is, like, an actual, like, you should be here at this... I enjoy hearing when people actually arrive, because that's the thing I find interesting about real human people. So, yeah, when do you get there? And I assume that Sister Constance leaves with Sister Mary, and you head there together.
Yes, absolutely.
And Sebastian, you fucking show up in the hog.
Yeah, Constance is always... She kind of prides herself on being very prompt and conscientious. She's probably, like, 10 minutes early, honestly. Gives, like, a generous amount of time.
Sure. Makes a lot of sense. And Sebastian?
I was thinking 10 minutes also.
All right.
So that's kind of weird.
All prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, as the two sisters are walking up to the club, you see this pretty nice car pull up and drop off the figure you'd seen briefly before. Which is this kind of... You were at Tartarus when Sebastian arrived the first time, correct? If only
I
briefly.
think I was leaving. So I was either leaving or I had like just left and we missed each other. Like, I don't think we interacted from my memory.
Okay.
I don't think we did either. I
don't think we even saw each other.
I think as Sebastian gets out of the car too, like you probably catch a glimpse of his face because he then like pulls up a mask, the same mask you saw previously, that like skull bone thing.
What does your face look like?
You only saw it for a flash.
Ah,
Would you
damn
like
it.
to know?
Oh.
Yeah. So, Tony lets you both in. And
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. Tony knows your number by now.
Aw.
Tony winks at Sister Mary on the way in.
Oh my god.
And as the two of you, the three of you, entered into the foyer, you're there for like a little bit, and noticeably, Sylvia's absent. Normally she's very much invested in being on the floor and in the club and managing things. But as you kind of wander around for a little bit, having arrived just a bit early, she doesn't show. And after a little period of time, Vincent, her right hand, comes around and kind of like gathers the three of you up and is just like, yes. So, Lady Sylvia's out this evening. She apologizes greatly for the inconvenience, and I have been informed to give you your instructions for the formation of this coterie. Is that amenable to the three of you?
So she's out. When will she be back?
Likely the following evening. She's attending some business at a social gathering with the Primogen Council. So Sebastian, again, like you're clued in enough to know some stuff. There's nothing like important that you know about happening right now.
That's why he's laughing.
There are social events happening all the time. Like this is probably someone's fucking party. Like maybe it's in Elysium, but it's probably just like those fucking high tier mean girls ass people like having a socialite event.
Your name was Vincent, correct?
Vincent, yes.
Yeah. This is highly unusual.
I understand that, and I do apologize again. But she is absent, as is another member of the intended coterie to be assembled. Will be added to the group when she is in attendance, but is not also likewise currently unavailable. So it will be the three of you heading toward, or actually, I believe that no, here. Then he pulls out like a like scroll. It's very nice handwritten missive from Sylvia, and is very just like, okay, yes, the three of you intend. So, Sister Constance, she understands that you've had a premonition in the past, and have some connection to that somewhat, and desires for you to investigate that further this evening. With the accompaniment of our newest coterie member, Sebastian. And Sister Mary is to accompany you to be able to perform any necessary rituals or associated sorcery that may sharpen your visions or aid your abilities to investigate. In, I believe it is the sewers. Is that correct?
That was about what we had gathered. You mentioned another member of the coterie.
Yes, one, Sally?
Just Sal, if it's who
Sal,
I
of
think it
course.
is.
My apologies. I don't think I've ever seen their title written. She is a frequent. I should know that. There is a note here, additionally, that this is a matter of the utmost importance, and he's like clearly reading word for word. And with that, there's evidently a risk as well. Please be careful and watch each other's backs. I shan't lose any more kindred here. Signed,
Oh boy.
Countess Sylvia Canto.
I. Sorry if the word, rather beating a dead horse, but the Camarilla instructed her to form a coterie. We've done so, and now they've called her away?
To my understanding, correct, yes.
How asinine.
Wait, the Camarilla called her away.
Or a primogen, someone of some power.
Are you certain that she was called away and that she's not just conveniently missing to avoid the responsibility of this?
Vincent visibly hardens to that suggestion. I assure you, Lady Sylvia is not doing anything that would be deemed unnecessary. She is fully aware of the gravity of the situation and will be aiding in earnest to the best of her ability as she is able.
I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt for my own sanity. Let's focus on the task at hand then.
Likewise, this is, introductions, I suppose, are in order between the two of you. This is, Sebastian Morrison of the Toreador and, Sister Constance of the Tremere.
Good to meet you, sister.
Likewise. Another Toreador.
Another.
Sal is a Toreador. I suppose I would be surprised if you hadn't crossed paths before. I'm afraid I don't know any other name that they go by. I only know them as Sal.
Unfortunately, nothing is springing to mind.
Unlikely. Actually, you can roll... intelligence politics.
Okay. That's 3 successes.
That's pretty good. The name... This is excellent, actually. The name rings a bell vaguely, and you remember that one of Annabelle's toadies, one of the, like, people Annabelle, like, associates with, embraced a skateboarder at one point in time, and, like, the name has some associations there for you, and you're pretty sure that's who they're talking about.
Does she skateboard by chance?
Constantly.
Okay. Then I do relatively know who they are. I don't think we've ever had the pleasure of being acquainted, however.
Well, I'm sure you will shortly. I'm gonna have to clear
We'll
this
see.
voice with Caroline at some point, and that's literally. I'm having a good time, but we'll see. Because my brain, it's Vincent Price a little bit, and also like Lurch a little bit.
Yes, you rang.
I'm going a little bit more, kind of aristocratic. I imagine Vincent's a fairly old ghoul, so.
Oh my god.
Anywho, if you require anything of us, still in the club is refreshment and such as you may need. And Mary is just kind of like, I would like some. I could use a bite. And Vincent's just like, of course, right this way. And like, leads her up to the private lounges where Kindred typically do feeding in Tartarus. Either of you may follow if you would like.
Nope.
I think Sister will kind of glance at the bar and see what the situation is.
Usual,
is there anyone manning it?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes, because Tartarus is still an active club. It's invite only, but the dance floor is still active. I think you note after Vincent leads Mary up to have a snack that, like, Vincent's actually got his hands kind of full managing the Malkavians that are staying here right now, because Sylvia is not around to play house
Kind
with
of,
them.
Yeah. Placate.
And Vincent doesn't really know how to handle them as effectively as Sylvia does, so he's kind of in damage control mode, where it's just like, please don't carve into our nice wooden bar.
Please don't rip up the cushions.
You may.
You'll not find anything inside of them.
I understand that you are. Yes, yes. You found people to vibe with. Perfect, wonderful. All right, and just kind of trying to make sure that people are doing.
Milk gang.
Most of them are pretty unassuming, but there's
Funny.
like they're prone to occasional outbursts.
Oh, funny.
Most of them are just like kind of obsessive about some stuff. So
Makes sense.
I think actually, to revise that a little bit, it's a lot less damage control instead of property. It's a lot more damage control is like, we need to make sure that our invite only clientele comes back, and if
right.
and if our house guests are scaring off our regulars, we're gonna run out of blood real quick.
Get into screaming matches about certain topics.
I'm actually gonna roll. I'm gonna say like composure leadership for Vincent here.
Oh my god.
He's doing okay. Like damage control. He's had to comp a lot of drinks in the last week. But yeah, so the bar is active, but because it's functioning as a bar,
Gotcha.
like there are mortals drinking from the bar. I think you like there's like the special Bloody Mary, right? But like, it just doesn't go out very frequently. It's just not really a thing that happens, because most of the people who are here to drink, that's what the guests are for. That's what all the snacks around are for.
Yeah, I think she will go up and kind of tentatively ask for what she knows to be kind of the bloody drink.
Sure.
The vampire
extra
drink.
bloody. There's probably a secret way to order it. Like, can I get a Bloody Mary, like, from the vein or something
Fresh.
like that? Fresh.
From the vine.
Right, it's gotta be obtuse enough that someone wouldn't accidentally order it.
Right.
But yeah, you get a drink. I think what I said before with Silas was it'll take about 2 or 3 to slake one hunger, because it is diluted and also it's disguised as a drink. So you're not just drinking an actual blood bag full of... You're not drinking a liter of blood. You're drinking a liter of blood spread across 3 pint glasses. Mary's willing to share.
Yeah, this just isn't going to do it, is it?
I think the bartender is always disappointed. He tries so hard to make it, like, palatable.
Sorry, not to insult your hard work.
I understand. Don't worry
just
about
the
it.
way of things.
He's just like, it's fine.
Thank you for your efforts. For what it is, it's fine.
No, I get it. It's fine. You don't have to keep... It's alright.
Just kind of starts heading back to the feeding room then.
Sister Mary is sucking on the neck of... Where's my book of victims? Roll percentile dice. Who's at the club tonight? 86 or 68.
While you're looking that up, I just forgot to mention one thing that Sebastian would have with him is he's got something strapped to his back that's like wrapped in black cloth.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of like it's long and thin, like about 3 feet long, but very thin. It doesn't really stand out.
Okay,
He's
so
also
definitely not like gun-shaped then. Not like a fucking AK.
No.
If it's long and thin.
It's this it looks like a like an office worker type person, Mary's, who's got like the top few buttons untucked and the ties like kind of undone, and is just doing the like
yeah, is
it's like
zonked out.
tired, very, you know, it's like weird drugs vibes, right? They're kind of tripping out, and she like eyes you and kind of stops for a second and is just like,
Oh, if I'm not intruding.
please. I like to share. You've shared more than enough, I suppose. And you get that this is a little bit of a low stakes wits insight.
It's insight. So many fucking dice. Oh, this was not one of my better rolls. Oh, this was bad. Okay. 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Beef.
Okay. Yeah, she's just being nice.
Okay. Yeah, then she'll kind of like sandwich the guy between them. Like, this is pretty normal for them.
Yeah. I mean, this is just
like,
normal for most vampires. Like, mortals contain more than enough blood for 2 people unless you're planning on drinking them dry. It gets more dangerous, because even if you don't intend to drink them dry, you can accidentally take too much.
Yeah, I
if
think
you're not
she
too
definitely
careful.
she does like watch and like, you know, observe to make sure that it isn't like, you know, that she hasn't just put this guy in danger. She's only she's only hungry for 1 dot.
He's still quite flush, and like and likewise Sister Mary was only at 2 hunger, so she's only looking for 1. So more than enough. He's gonna need a snack afterward, but like he'll be fine.
I just thought of something horrible. I'm not going to, but it made me laugh. Hands him my half-drunk, bloody Mary. Here. Rejuvenate a little.
He's like...
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not giving him fucking human blood. That's fucked up.
I think that's technically cannibalism.
It's something. That's something bad.
Yeah. So yeah, you both have a snack.
Cannibalism was flesh, not necessarily blood.
Yeah, but that's the thing though, right? Is like I think it's technically, since it like comes from a human, it is like blood is an organ.
Listen. The mechanics, the technicalities.
I'd like to discuss
it's a philosophical
that for a
conversation. I mean, some vampires that go feral do enjoy
shit.
chunks,
Flesh,
yummy
bits. Anyway, Sebastian,
delicious.
you're not snacking, right?
No, I think he just kind of like finds a corner to stand in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just like broad strokes, because you know your responsibilities. They're pretty strict. You don't have to be doing anything. But would you like to just kind of like
Poke
vibe
around.
check the club?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I
you
would.
were here very briefly before, but now you're here for an extended period of time. It's in operation, and notably, Sylvia is not here and not engaging with you. So you have a little bit more leeway to just kind of like roam around and get a sense of things.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't give a shit what her lackey has to do with anything.
Yeah.
he's not her.
He's a fucking mortal. Like,
Yeah.
Well, not even more. He's a ghoul. Like, they don't get rights. So, according to most kindred, how on the kindred scale of politics conservative is Sebastian, or is that something we're gonna find out over the course of this?
I think it's something we'll find out over the course of this.
Awesome.
He's very. I will just say he straddles every line he can.
So probably more aristocratic than most of our party members, but also not aristocratic. We'll see. We'll find out. That'll be a fun thing to find out together.
I think so. Okay, let me put it like this: Sylvia, very aristocratic.
Yes.
Aristocratic.
Mm-hmm.
Sal, almost an anarchist.
Almost an anarch. Sal very much straddling the line of anarch. Definitely not the most radical a kindred can be.
Right.
But you know,
Silas.
Oh,
Sebastian, yeah. Sebastian
I think Silas is the most radical you can be.
Maybe.
But like on a third axis.
Sebastian, I think, is a little bit more Sal leaning than
Sure.
Sylvia.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah,
would you be immersed enough in the like Primogen old vampire sphere to call mortals kind?
I think around them he would.
Okay. Oh, that's a good detail.
Mm.
Fun.
Code switching.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Like I said, he straddles every line.
Every line. Yeah, so I'll give you wits or intelligence and awareness or investigation or insight or etiquette or streetwise.
I would like to do I think insight makes more sense.
Okay.
Because I'm not investigating, it's a vibe check, right? It's kind of
You're
like,
trying to
what
get a
can
sense
I
for the
glean?
culture and the people and what's kind of going on here with everyone.
Honest to God,
Mhm.
I'm gonna expend a willpower to reroll.
Sure. You may at any given point that you wish. That's
That was
mechanics there for a reason.
That is a little bit better. It's 2 successes instead of a critical failure.
All right, cool. Yeah, so probably good idea to not to not keep the critical failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been probably like mandatory attendance to a non-zero number of Elysiums in your day, especially like Primogen Elysium. Like you have been to the Elysium that is at the Art Institute of Chicago. That is the Elysium that has been occurring for decades in Chicago. Like it's run by Prince Jackson. It's like the big shindig. Everyone's welcome, but they're not really, depending on who you are. Tonight isn't Elysium, but you can tell pretty immediately, not so much by Vincent because he's got his stuff occupied, but by the staff of Tartarus in general, that they are being very careful and very professional. Like, everyone is upholding the Masquerade incredibly well, very to a T. You notice a couple of kindred, like, I think one of the local Malkavians and someone else who's just kind of like from the domain.
Anyway.
Someone who's just from the domain. Whenever they do hunting or anything, you never see a fang on the dance floor ever. They always bring whoever they are hunting or intending to drink from up to the private lounge. And there is a bouncer at the private lounge who only allows in either kindred or kindred with snacks. Like, on it straight up, like, the air is very professional, and beyond that, the club atmosphere is tight. It's good. It's a well-performed group. Like, the DJ is super neat. It's not DJ Dread. There's a specific... They have an in-house DJ. And they're running. They're doing well. They're maintaining the vibe of the club. It's the energy and the lights and the atmosphere, like... Above all else, this is an environment of professionalism. Like, and it honestly, from a security standpoint, probably harder locked down than even a lot of high aristocracy social spaces and events.
Okay. Marks for Sylvia.
Runs a tight ship.
Yeah, she does, and the staff do because they care.
It's honestly something probably a lot of people would not think a Malkavian possible of.
No, and that is surprising to you, probably more than anyone else, because especially being in that Primogen aristocracy, being deeper in the Camarilla, people shit on Malkavians a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for being unfocused and, like, unstable and babbling. Like, the idea is that they're kind of dumb or, like, weird or they can't focus on stuff, but, like, Sylvia's atypical insofar as, like, how people treat Malkavians. She is very clearly not weird, but, like, she manages.
I think, like, Sebastian, like, he's got to have, like, a little notebook and a little pen, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he just kind of, like, jots down a couple notes, like saying more good things about Sylvia and about Tartarus in general.
Cool. Is your notebook, like, does it monogrammed with, like, a little Toreador rose, like, in the bottom corner of every page, or, like...
Oh, no, it's like plain as day.
Oh, cool.
It's just,
excellent.
like, no, it's not remarkable whatsoever.
The, like, 75-cent spiral bound at Office Depot, like...
Absolutely.
It gets the job done and no further. Like, they didn't even spring for Moleskines.
No. I'm good.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, then when Constance and Mary are done drinking, you may head back down with your coterie partner for the evening.
Constance, like, helps the guy rebutton up the, like, first 3 buttons on his shirt, like, gives him a little, like, pat on the side of his face, and she's like, have fun. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah.
And they'll make their way back down.
Yeah. Again, with professionalism, like, Sebastian doesn't see this, but, like, the employees, like, take care of... I'm just going to keep referring to them as snacks.
Snacks.
Because, like, they maintain their herd. Like, they make sure that, like, the people who are their regulars that the local kindred feed from are well taken care of and healthy and happy. And I think, if I remember correctly, Sylvia specifically engenders a sanguine flavor at Tartarus. A sanguine blood tone? Blood...
I forget what it's called.
Resonance.
Resonance, yeah.
Yeah. Sanguine and the other one that's, like, high energy.
Right. Positive.
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
Yeah, good vibes. Only good vibes. Like, it is a crafted space. That part of the reason nightclubs are really important to kindred society is because you can emotionally manipulate people into the blood tastes that you want. That's also why torture rooms are very valuable in kindred society. So
Fun.
Sebastian's just kind of vibing downstairs.
Yeah, I think we kind of come back up and our Constance starts. Sorry for the delay.
Dab.
No problem.
Yeah. So, I have a general location in mind. We spoke about it briefly. I have a sense of where we need to go. but it's not pinpoint accurate. We'll have to do a certain amount of searching.
Lead the way.
I think Sister Constance kind of pauses and is like, do we want to take the public transport?
Sebastian doesn't even say anything. He just pulls out his pager and pages Doug.
They let you use that. You were assigned to us from the Camarilla, right?
You can't see his face, but you can see the smile, or you can't see his mouth or nose, but you can see the smile in his eyes. He just kind of goes, "Oh, what they don't know doesn't hurt them." And he pages Doug and just gives him the address that he got dropped off at. And says, "You're like, get here now."
Mm-hmm.
Pagers are very small. Word limits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Come back.
You gotta, very much the era of the phrase acronyms, right?
Yep.
Like,
Shorthand.
yeah.
he literally just sends back, okay, right, like, just the character. And yeah, in like 5 to 10 minutes, he's back around front with the what was the name of the car?
It was a Mustang.
Mustang. Yeah, he's out front with the Mustang. Pops the locks, and so Mary and Constance, you see, this really nice 4-door car with like this kind of older, he's got a hat, kind of I want to say like 40s ish.
Oh, he's absolutely got a slanted hat too.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
He wears the little
glasses, shade. Does he have circular color tinted shades?
My God. Oh my God.
They're like iridescent. He really likes those.
Yes!
They're circular iridescent shaded
Oh
things.
my
And he's got like
God.
the loose like vertical stripe dress shirt.
Yeah.
With like a nice set of pants.
Oh.
And he gives like this absolutely delightful shitty grin as he rolls down the window to the group of you. He's just like, "Hey, you got guests? That's more gritty than it was, but it was more smoky before, rather than gritty." Hey y'all.
Constance is just kind of keeps looking at Sebastian now, like, what is this guy? Like, what is the, like,
I think Sister Mary's
man.
like, looks at the car, looks at the three of you. Shotgun?
No.
Damn.
No, that's not how that
No,
works.
Okay. Thought it was worth a shot.
oh.
Alright, and then she just like gets in the back.
Yeah, Sister Constance will slide in next to her a little, like 1 second more hesitation, but not that much.
Yeah, and Sebastian just pops right on in. He kind of, as he gets in, he like turns, he like grabs his seat and turns around towards you and is like, "All right, where are we headed?"
Yeah, can I just like describe the general? I feel like I super had notes somewhere, and I just don't know where they are.
you have a sense of like where this location is.
Near West Side, close to Loop.
Yeah.
With the Loop.
So it's a ways, and you have a general direction, and you know like an elevation, like you know it's below the streets of the city, and beyond that you don't super know. So like, do you want help of like how you could describe that to Doug in a way that would be useful?
Yeah, I feel like Sister Constance is also just not confident because she doesn't actually know the city that well.
Sure.
Like, she's not from here.
Yeah,
so...
of course. So you've got vague directions, and I think you kind of explain it back. Actually, let's make a little bit of a social roll for this. For just like you correctly communicating this information in a way that's useful.
She can probably describe the distance pretty accurately and the general like literal cardinal direction. But it gets.
How about intelligence and either streetwise or survival?
Oh.
Or drive.
Or drive? Oh. Oh no.
Could I? I have a point in streetwise. Could I lend that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can help.
Like Sister Constance is describing, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like this place by this place.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you
So I just get an extra die.
Yeah, get an extra die.
All right. Okay. That's a little better. Let's. Oh god, dice everywhere. 8, 9, 2, 10. So 10, 9, 8, 2.
That's 3 successes. Yeah, you pretty effectively communicate. So it's like, oh, all right. So under the streets, this kind of area. I think I know where I can put you. Where that'll help. And he just like, ka-shunk, puts it in gear, and
Oh my God.
I don't think he's a peel out kind of driver.
Like, if he fucking just like speeds off, sister, like she's like holding on to like you know like those like safety fucking bars in the car.
I think Doug's more chill than that, but you do notice like Mary very pointedly like checking her seatbelt. Just kind of she's not in cars very frequently.
No.
Y'all in general just aren't. The camera roll doesn't count like vehicles as forbidden technology. It's actually kind of one of the idiosyncrasies with that whole thing. If you could talk to an anarchist about it if you really wanted to. But like Doug's super chill. I don't think he'd be an aggressive driver. Yeah, he gets you where you need to go, and he's just kind of like he's driving. He's like going, and he kind of just like looks at the group of you, just like, so what are we up to tonight?
I think Sister Constance kind of squints and is like, I believe we're meant to keep it classified.
Ooh, fancy. That's interesting triad you got here. How's this whole thing going down so far, sport?
Hey, Doug.
What's up?
No thanks.
No?
Whatever smartass shit you got to say, I don't need it. I don't need it right now. I understand they're both nuns. I know you have a joke.
I got a list of jokes. You know I've got just a whole handbook of them.
Okay. You get one.
I get one?
And if it's very bad, I will exit this vehicle.
Okay, I won't make a habit of it.
Constance gets out of the car. Constance just turns and gets out of the car and just closes the door. It doesn't look at anyone.
While it's moving?
I thought he had stopped. I thought we'd got where we got.
I thought y'all were just driving.
We're just trapped in the car after he says that.
Yes.
We just hear you going, why won't this open?
In that case, no, Constance. I don't think Constance reacts.
I'll apologize in advance. I'm sorry. I've been in Chicago's a deeply Catholic place. I've been here for the last 90 years. It bottles up, you know.
You know what? Forgiveness is a virtue.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll shut up. It's fine.
You actually get a chuckle out of Sebastian with that.
Yeah. So he drops you off. Yeah. So I said northwest side, close to the loop, right? Vaguely. An area.
I fucking broke down again. What did the fuck? Near west side, close to the loop, just west of the loop.
Sure, yeah.
Those are the notes I have.
The more important thing is that it is close to the loop, but not quite in the loop. And he's just like, all right, so, what I think you're looking for, and you note that you're not in, like, the streets. You're kind of in kind of a, not like industrial area, but you're kind of near some alleyways and stuff. He's just like, all right, so, what I'm guessing you're looking for is you got a few options. You got the sewers. He's not from Brooklyn. I don't know why that's edging in here.
It's easy. It's easy.
It's like the country accents in Firefly. It just happens. You got the sewers. Sewers. There's an R in that word. Or I'm gonna have to take a drink of water before and break after this because I've been out for a while and this voice is a bad idea. Or the old coal tunnels back from when we used to run coal all around the buildings for heating.
Oh. See, I didn't even know about those.
Yeah, a lot of even locals. It's kind of an apocryphal thing.
Coal tunnels.
Yeah.
If I think back, does that make more sense to me? Like
Probably.
Do I remember there?
Because the thing that one of the things you remember is that is square halls. And like concrete and stuff like that, as opposed to like sewers, which are, notably like slick and
I was gonna say
thick,
wet and horrible.
as opposed to like scratching hard, dry surfaces that you've felt before. Also, now that you're around here and in the process of driving here, your premonition, your link to this location has gotten significantly stronger. And you have like, it's like the point on the compass needle.
It's just
you've played Sea of Thieves, so like it's vague, and then it like tightens and tightens and it's starting to tighten, and has been tightening since you were much further away.
We're definitely near. Then I think you might be right. That makes a lot more sense. You know about them. Do you know how to get into these coal tunnels?
That's me.
Yeah. Bless.
There should be a couple ways in still. Most of the entrances, unfortunately, are inside the buildings, because that's where the coal tunnels run. But I think there's still an old service store down by the river. Actually, here, he like fucking parks the car, puts it in park, locks it. And he's just like, I'll see if I can lead us down there and get a handle on things. How stealthy do you want to be? And how aware do you want to be? What's kind of your process and vibe when entering and traversing through? Because I'll combine these a little bit, like the Undercity. And the Undercity's a bit of an exaggeration. Like, this isn't Lower Wacker. This is just, like, literal tunnels.
Well, before we do any of that, I think as we get out of the car, Sebastian would be like, he wants to know, like, what the fuck we're doing here. Like, all I've heard is a mention of premonition, and I'm just like, all right, we're going with it, but what the fuck does this have to do with anything? So he's probably just going to be like, can you explain to me what this premonition was, what this has to do with what the issues are going on in Sylvia's domain, that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Would have loved to ask her myself, but,
Right. That's... troublesome.
Tell me about it.
I'm trying to think of what would be, how much is good to say. Well, seeing as you were sent by the Camarilla, certainly you know something of what must have happened here.
Me
right?
personally, no.
Hmm.
They might. I don't.
Well, I suppose there's no avoiding it. It has to do with Miss Sylvia. You know, she's a Malkavian. As a Malkavian, they tend to be very close and connected.
Mhm.
One was slain here.
He raises an eyebrow.
It's highly disconcerting. Something happened, but no one seems to quite know what.
How do you mean slain? They found their body?
I don't even know if I know that.
You've seen the report.
I've seen the report.
I know we gave a link to you briefly, but I can give it
It's
to you again if you would
in
like.
Nosferatu report. Me.
That's the one.
Flesh was covered in burns. Body was okay. Body was decapitated. Uh. So, what we know is that the body was decapitated. Although there's no evidence of serration, sawing. There were burns of varying size and severity, but the pattern suggests that it wasn't the sun but something else. Yet there were no fuels found on the body. Nothing that would make a kindred flammable. Except magnesium. Small trace amounts of magnesium. I don't particularly know the chemical qualities of magnesium, so.
Couldn't say I know either. Although I might know somebody who does. Maybe.
Knows the chemical properties of magnesium?
Honestly, potentially. I don't know. Not something I'd be able to find out right now, anyways.
I was asked to, or not necessarily asked. I offered my service to Miss Sylvia to try and glean more information. This resulted in the premonitions I mentioned. And they were. You know, I won't lie to you. I'm not exactly excited to go down there.
Yeah, me neither. Speaking of offering your services to Sylvia, what is your relation to Sylvia? I mean, not to be rude, but two nuns working with a Malkavian. I'm sure there's a joke somewhere there, but this seems strange even still.
Yes,
And you're a Toreador on top of that. Or not a Toreador,
No,
a Tremere on top of that.
Relevant politics that I know I've discussed with Sylvia, but you would also know, Sebastian, is that there is not currently a Tremere Primogen. The Tremere are kind of in a weird limbo state in Chicago politics right now.
We are working with Miss Sylvia, well, for one, because we live and thrive in her domain, under her good grace. And I mean, I think Constance kind of glances to Mary to kind of get a read on her expression.
if you do that, obviously, then Sebastian also looks to Mary.
She'll kind of side eye.
Mary's definitely not disagreeing with you. Like, yeah, no, Mary's also like, yeah, no, it's the well, we exist in her domain and our sort of little bloodline, as it were. They we exist. We really only wish to coexist with Sylvia and her domain, since the Tremere don't
We're not
they
exactly.
don't.
Let's say we're not exactly treated favorably by our own kind. By comparison, Miss Sylvia is rather kind, if maybe a bit stretched too thin.
I can see that. Well, he kind of like slings up that like wrapped thing on his back, and this is just I'm just enjoying this personally. He basically unsheathed a from this like little like satchel that it's sitting in, a katana.
Oh my god.
You're not Kakashi, though.
Oh,
I'm not Kakashi.
not Kakashi.
No.
Kakashi. Oh my god.
And he just kind of he folds the cloth very neatly, puts it in his pocket, and then holds the weapon so that like the sheath itself is like up against his arm, and only the handle is really visible.
I think Constance sighs and is like, under normal circumstances I would be concerned, but this is wholly appropriate.
I thought so too. Like I said, I don't know what's going on here, and I plan to be prepared for just about anything.
Yeah.
So,
with the details that Constance gave you, you can give me like intelligence, insight, or science.
Insight sounds good.
Just to read into the information specifically, if you want to read into Constance's tone specifically, that would be Wit's insight.
That's 6 successes. I got a crit.
Oh shit!
All right. Yeah. So with the detail, because Constance, you basically just read out all the factual information. You didn't give where it was from, if I remember correctly.
No.
All right. Cool. Relevant. Dead kindred, bad. Someone who clearly knew how to kill a kindred, bad. Burns, bad. But like, if they didn't walk into the sun or didn't die from that, that's kind of weird. VtM missing. Big red flag.
Oh, yeah, that's a detail I forgot. Reading out the report.
VtM missing means maybe diablerie, which is real bad. Time of death, not super relevant anymore at this point, where you're coming into this investigation. Yeah. So, like, and, obviously, kindred murdering other kindred is illegal. Not a thing the Camarilla likes. Diablerie, in broad kindred culture, Camarilla notwithstanding, very bad. and not necessarily proof of dabblery, but
Sounds
you
like
know,
it could be.
suspicious.
Yeah.
If not
And-
diablery, then they took all the blood for some reason, which is still bad.
Right.
Yeah. I think just because it crossed me, the player's mind, I think I'd like to ask this before I forget in general, because I will. Sebastian turns back to Sister Constance one last time and just says, is this what Sylvia was concerned? How to say this? Hang on. Sylvia had mentioned that there was a potentiality of breaking the Masquerade. Is this part of that? Is this kindred?
Breaking the Masquerade. Not that I'm aware. Not for what we're investigating here.
So that's a different thing. Okay. Anyways, Doug, can you lead us on?
Yep. I'll do that. And he walks you down the riverside. It's along the kind of like it's along the river, but it's still like concrete and bridges and stuff. So you end up going onto like this weird little metal walkway.
Here, wait. Do you mind pausing for like 2 seconds, doing all robot-y for me?
Oh, am I good now?
Hmm.
Am I
Are you
roboting
also
to
hearing
everyone
that?
else as well?
Yeah, I'm also hearing
All
it.
right, then it's probably an internet thing. It might be a good minute to take 5 because I need more water very badly.
Yeah, before we go into these fucking tunnels and
Yep.
die.
Yeah. Right.
Be right back.
Oh god. I really don't want to go in here. Straight up don't fucking want to go in these tunnels. Hi, why?
It'll be fine.
Hi. What I miss?
We're getting the partial gang together. Mary has graced us with her presence.
We got
Weird.
Sebastian's character intro, basically. Like, you get to see a little bit of snippet of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I see you two are also on your character sheet. The weak TM. Well, actually, no. Your stats aren't bad.
Oh no, I if we get into a fight, I've got a 7 dice pool.
Oh, for melee. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank fucking god.
If I lose my sword, we're gonna have issues. But
Oh yeah, right. I forgot that
Matt!
your athletics is
Bad.
bad though.
yeah,
Yeah, so you and terrible
Oh.
dexterity. You're not going to be able to dodge any attacks.
that's fine. I'm not worried about that. The best defense is a good offense, right?
I mean, I guess we sure have a small amount of rituals in our favor, depending on how strong Mary is. My rituals are more for, daily life shit.
Yeah,
That's not great. I'm the baby of the group. Like, this is gonna, like, if anything fucking happens to me, I'm fucked. Completely.
It'll be fine. How do I put this? Well, yeah, we'll be fine. And also, like, this character, it's trying to do like 3 things at once.
Bless.
He's trying to be a good performer. He has to be able to hold his own in a fight.
Mhm.
And I really wanted him to like be able to have really good conversational ability. Because I've only ever made characters that are good at one or the other.
He's a music playing detective ninja.
Yeah.
I mean, minus the sneakiness.
He has himself.
Kinda.
Swordsman then.
Yeah.
Aw,
He's got 2 dots in stealth. He's got obfuscate. He's got
samurai.
stuff. He can do stuff.
I love that you keep choosing katanas. I don't. Something about that.
Well, you know, Sebastian or
Appeal.
Silas had a long sword, and Silas is dead. So
Still have to have a sword, though.
I do still have to have a sword because
have to have a sword.
Because if it wasn't a sword, it was going to be like chain knives or something like that, and
Oh my god.
that didn't feel as useful for killing kindred if need be.
I mean, like, the katana, like, it's funny because of reasons. But, like,
Some
katana's
blade
just a
ash.
popular option because it's just easy to get.
Yeah.
Because every weeb and their brother wants a katana.
Yeah, they're like, you can
Every
spend like
single
$500.
Army Navy, and like every Army Navy store will have a katana for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was suddenly trying to remember if Blade uses a katana. He doesn't use a katana. He does use a sword, but it's not a katana.
I think it's just like a short sword, if I recall.
Yeah, it is. I just couldn't quite remember what the sword looked like.
Oh shit, you got bond slave.
Yeah.
That's hard.
It's fine.
Not
He
the
makes
only
the
one.
most of it. Mm-mm.
What'd you say, Cole?
Not the only one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I don't think I have Bond Slave. I have Long Bond.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Sebastian is he's a lot. He's a lot all in one character.
I like him
So-
already, though.
He's
Fun detail for Constance and Mary to notice that I think might be interesting. Sebastian definitely used Blush of Life at some point this evening,
Oh.
and you can tell.
Interacting with mortals a lot recently.
I
guess as we walk down this embankment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what he would say in response. Oh, what would he say in response? I think he would say something like, just one.
Just fun.
He walks backwards down this embankment, which is probably not a smart idea as he's talking to you. And is like, we all have to find our ways to make a living, to sustain on ourselves. I've found mine. Very easy to not break the Masquerade, so just, put a little oomph into my appearance and voila. I look normal, quote unquote.
And you enjoy it?
Very much so.
That's good. Refreshing. It seems so many are bitter about their unlives.
Once again, you can't see his face, but you can definitely see the smile in his eyes. And he says, I've worked pretty hard to get where I am, and I'm happily comfortable.
Well, if tonight continues to go well enough, may you continue to enjoy his gifts.
He expresses confusion and just says, thanks, I think. I don't know who him is. Oh, you mean God. Oh.
Kind of like God, Sister Constance is not sassy enough to just kind of like pointedly look at the cross on her chest, but it's like, oh, if anything, she's actually probably amused by that.
You know, one of my scholar friends told me recently that she believes that God's a woman.
That's great, Doug.
Yeah, I think Constance just kind of like shrugs, like, oh, how interesting. Oh,
All right.
a scholar of what? What is she a scholar of, Doug?
The Torah.
Sorry, your face in response to that was just...
This is why I wish we
Thanks,
could play in person.
So- I mean, yeah, no, like, Constance is completely unfazed. Like, she, like, you know, people find God in many forms.
I'm so ready for whatever this is about to be.
That's Doug's reaction. Doug just clearly thinks of something, is about to say it, and then goes, I probably shouldn't, and then doesn't.
Oh, I think Constance is hiding, not well, not hard, but is hiding some mirth.
He is an old blues man from the 30s. So decided his commentary was unnecessary for this point in time. You get to the door leading into the tunnels.
I think.
It is locked.
Yeah, I was going to say. Before doing much else, I think Constance wants to kind of like press in close and feel, kind of like tap into that internal compass again.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of get a sense of like correctness. Is this right? Is this?
Yeah. So the unfortunate part about premonitions is that they're not a navigation tool.
Right.
Insofar as you're not really getting like waypoints like a video game. It's not like, no, yes, this is the correct through this door, and then it's just like,
Of course, of course.
Closer. Broadly speaking, this is definitely closer. Like you get a sense that like the location you're looking for is like past this door, vaguely.
Okay.
But like going through this door will get you closer, definitely.
I think I also
the door's
just
pretty shitty. Also, by the way, it's just like it's like rusted as hell. It's clear that like some like Urban Expo folks have like knocked this thing open a few times, and the city's had to come down here and put like a new lock on it 3 different times. But like the door structure itself just like isn't particularly impressive.
I need to also remember, this is just for me because I keep forgetting, is that I have Sense the Unseen. And that seems poignant for what we're doing.
Would you like to use that?
Sense the Unseen?
Yeah, I don't know what it does.
So Sense the Unseen, let me pull it up.
Is it
It
like
should
a
be,
passive?
it's a passive thing. So like, basically, god damn it, Sense the Unseen. Let me read the passage.
It's an Auspex discipline?
Yeah.
Yes. The senses of the vampire become attuned to dimensions beyond the mundane, allowing them to sense presences otherwise hidden from the naked eye. This can be anything from another vampire using obfuscate to someone using Auspex to spy upon the character, to a ghost in the middle of the room. Dormant blood sorcery spells and rituals might also be found with this power at the storyteller's discretion. Basically, awesome. If anything is spying on me, I'll be able to feel it.
Right. Okay, cool.
I would also like to do that.
Yeah, that's not something, like, I don't...
You also have Auspex.
I do, yeah.
What disciplines do you have in Auspex?
Just that.
Just that? Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah.
And that's just happening passively.
Neither of you feel watched right now.
Great. Good to confirm.
I know. I rolled. I
Other
wrote
than by
down,
Doug.
Yeah.
Funny.
I wrote down that you can make a roll with it. If you need
Yeah,
to
you
slash want
can.
to, it's wisdom or wits aspects or resolve aspects.
To
That's
just
all I
like
wrote down.
as like a broad strokes observation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's all I wrote because you have only so much written on these
Yeah.
things. But
I don't love the character sheets, the default character sheets.
not the best, but not the worst.
Sense the unseen.
Yeah, if something is actively trying to stay hidden, then it becomes a contest.
Oh, so I make secret rolls.
Hmm.
Is how this works. So it is a passive. And I can make you roll against it, but I'm mostly just rolling against your sense the unseen. Okay, cool.
Felt prevalent.
Yeah, no, I think that
I
will be
agree.
useful. Yeah.
Oh dear.
So, closed door. And Doug's just like, all right, cool, peace. And leaves.
Yeah.
Because he's done his job. And he's going to go back to, he's like, should I wait in the car? Or,
Whatever you want to do.
cool.
I'll,
Then I
I'll
won't.
page you.
Do you think that's going to work down there?
I wouldn't go too far if I were you.
Well, I'll wait in the car. And he heads back out. And walks away. You have a door. You have a shitty, rickety door with a brand new lock on it.
Do I have anything? Do I have any skills? Do I have any things I can do? I'm pretty weak against this sort of thing.
Larceny, or...
I would like to attempt something.
Yeah, go for it.
I have a point in larceny. I don't know what I would need to roll to try and like break into this thing via that.
Dex
but-
if you're trying to pick the lock, strength if you're trying to break a specific aspect of it. Maybe wits if you're trying to like ascertain an additional entryway. I think larceny in general will get you. Will help you out. I think you could pick most traits. I'll even give you like strength larceny if you're literally just trying to like bust the door down.
I might just bust it because
Yep.
we're not like in a. We're just in a, like an industrial area, right?
Yeah,
This
like
isn't
there's not
residential?
really anyone around.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do strength larceny. That's only one success.
That's enough. The door's really
Oh,
shitty.
okay.
You bust some rust on the hinges, and the door swings open with like a heavy. It's loud. It's a crash, but like basically the lock was so rusted around the attachment point between the door itself and the doorway that it just like pops off with a big rending sound, and it like heavily creaks open.
Works for me. Normally in this situation, I would say after you, but maybe not so appropriate.
Yeah. As
Sister
the
Mary
door has-
pulls a flashlight out of her bag.
All right.
Oh.
I like this one.
I also have candles, but those are for other things.
No, I don't like that idea.
It would be a very expensive, very shitty light. Sorry, very poor light. Very poor light.
Silas. Sebastian again internally
my
just
God.
goes, "Yeah, I like this one."
Yeah, I think Sister Constance kind of she keeps hovering closer to Sister Mary. And does not look excited to
I
go.
think Sister Mary was kind of like, I was kind of hoping you would go. I would go be able to behind. Oh, it's fine. I'll go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Sebastian is going in.
Mary follows you.
And then Constance.
All right. The tunnels are pretty tight. They are like 1.5 persons wide. And after you get past the initial entryway, there are tracks along all of the floor in all of these rooms. Because that's what the coal carts used to run on down here. They're thin, they're not like railroad quality, they're not like that tough metal, and they're broken as fuck. How much do you know about Chicago history? And how much of that is going to be important here? Either of you can roll me intelligence politics, or intelligence investigation, or intelligence survival. And I will give you different information depending on what you roll.
What was that first one again? Intelligence?
Politics. Politics, investigation, or survival.
I can do either investigation or politics for 4 if you got.
Investigation will tell you more about the tunnels themselves. Politics will tell
Yeah.
you more about the history of the tunnels.
Constance could do investigation. That's pretty much the only one that she has any dots in. And it also just makes them. She just doesn't know a lot about Chicago.
Could
So
we
she's-
use separate roles where Constance does investigation and I do
Absolutely.
politics? Okay, let's do that.
Ideal.
These are going to be staked rolls where the consequences for failure are fear.
Okay.
I only got 1 success.
Okay.
Okay, so 8, 6,
75309.
4, 4, 3.
All right, so you rolled 2 on investigation,
Yes.
and Silas, you rolled 1 on politics.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you remember is that these, like, it's actually kind of nagging you at the back of your mind that, like, these tunnels were important for something at some point, and you just don't know what. And, like, it's kind of, it's the, like, I should have remembered something, because there was something about these, and I don't remember. Constance, with investigation, you can take a better look. You kind of get a better look. Mary kind of directs her flashlight towards some things at your direction as you walk down the tunnels, and you notice that one of the major things in these tunnels is corrosion and water damage. It's not wet anymore, but clearly there were some problems down it. Like something happened to these that made them inoperable.
We're not in danger of this. Sebastian, you wouldn't happen to know, why or how this place would have flooded, would you?
I assume I can't make a different roll for that.
It'll jog your memory a little bit insofar as you know that the thing you should have remembered about this place is that it flooded for a reason at some point in some way.
No, can't say as though I do.
There's a lot of graffiti. There's a lot of stuff. There's just like a lot of like urban expo shit. There's a lot of urban explorers that go down here. And you can tell by like the style of graffiti. There's a lot of like at handle was here. And there's some stuff that's like watch out for ghosts. Like very very dumb teenagers with a spray can and too much time bullshit.
This would have been before Slender Man. No.
Yeah.
Oh. Slenderman symbols
watch
on
out
the
for
fucking-
Hero Brian.
Oh my fucking god.
So you keep venturing deeper, and this is the point at which both of your Sense the Unseen is going to tick off a little bit.
Fuck.
Mostly insofar as, does it let you know if there are ghosts?
We
I
can
believe-
sense ghosts. Yeah, this can be anything from other vampire, something spying on us, a ghost in the middle of the room. Yeah.
It's much less obvious than just like a ghost in the middle of the room. You can tell that this location holds host to a fairly significant number of spirits.
Oh, sh.
Like, and it's the kind of thing where, like, you know they're there, and every time you try and look at one, it moves and goes away, and because there are several of them, they fade into the background, and you don't sense them, like, it's not like Casper. You don't just look and see a ghost. You just get the sense of the ghost. You get the impression of physical features. You get the idea of a form against the flashlight, and then as soon as you look a bit closer, as soon as your, like, prefrontal cortex starts to take over in your examination of that space, it's gone. But both of you know that this is a profoundly haunted space.
I think if Constance feels even a prickle of that, she'll, like, hold on to Sister Mary's shoulder, and whisper, this place is host to spirits.
Yes?
No shit.
Both of you?
You don't feel this?
It's wet and it sucks. I mean, it's unpleasant.
Oh, Sister Mary, holy shit. Oh.
It's not... I don't... No, I don't see ghosts. Do you? Is that a thing that you do?
All right, Constance, is there some sort of reverential treatment we should be practicing while we're down here? You're the resident on God and spirits, I assume, and souls, and that's all this shit is. So, what do we do?
I think Constance is just holding her cross and is just, like, quietly whispering the Lord's Prayer to herself. I think, like, you probably catch a little bit, but she is just kind of looking around and just shakes her head, like, this isn't something that she's actually used to.
I actually, one moment, and here, can you? And she hands you, Constance, her flashlight, and reaches into her satchel and pulls out her journal and starts flipping through it a little bit. And let me. She has a lot of rituals prepared. So, I do know a ward for spirits if they are present. But it doesn't do people. It's either an object, like we can ward a thing against spirits, or we can ward like a space against spirits.
Let us... How about we get a little bit closer to where we're headed, and then we'll see about creating an area that is consecrated.
Okay.
Well, if you think that's the correct decision, I will just loudly disagree with that, but that's fine.
I mean, what do you propose?
Well, if you can make part of us, I assume clothing is what you can do.
So I get that you're a Toreador, right? So blood sorcery is really not your like thing.
I have some understanding of how it works, but not much.
Wards, as they exist, protect against the manipulation of an object or area. The circles are much more complex, difficult to figure out, to understand. Those ward against an area, or they can ward against an object. So if you were to ward your clothes, it would prevent a spirit from pantsing you, I suppose. Or manipulating your clothes in some way. But it could still, like, kill you. I don't... Do spirits kill you? Is that... I'm actually not... I don't really know how...
So you do the spirit blood sorcery, and you don't know whether or not spirits can actually...
It's a practical thing! I don't study ghosts, I study the blood!
I feel like that's
Ghosts
kind of
don't have blood! It's not something I run into very often. She's getting stressed.
Let's just continue.
Especially since she can't see the ghosts.
I will tell you if we need to worry more about this. It could be benign. We don't actually know.
Mm. And as far as you can tell, like, the ghosts aren't aggro.
Mm.
They're not, like, they're just around. Actually, if you want to, you, Hannah, specifically, want to give me int occult?
I will absolutely.
To give some info about ghosts?
And so many dice, holy shit. 3...
You took like 4 dots in occult, didn't you?
I did.
That'll do it.
4...
It's almost like this is your kind of wheelhouse, broadly speaking.
Yeah, crazy that. Okay. That was a 2 10s, a 9, a 4 3 2 2.
Alright, so that's 5 successes. Which is a lot.
Lord.
Were either of those 10s on a hunger die?
No.
Alright. So, you know a non-zero amount of things about ghosts, actually. And relevantly, particularly since they are not aggressive and also are kind of omnipresent, this is like textbook behavior for if ghosts were created by some sort of tragedy. They're tied to the space. They are linked through a mixture of sorrow and anguish to the space that caused them harm, but they're not like... They weren't like murdered. They're not out for vengeance or justice or anything.
It was just
they're
a tragedy.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I think Constance kind of thinks on it and is like, I think I know what happened. These... I don't feel malevolence. I feel... I think this place flooded, and I think there were people here when it happened. And what you and I are feeling, looks to Sebastian, is the aftermath of that.
Makes sense. So we shouldn't have to worry, then?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, shall we press on?
Yes.
You do. So you're following your personal premonition compass, effectively.
Yeah, basically.
The tunnels are organized. Any kind of signage that was left over is functionally non-existent. But you are able to more by trial and error more than anything else, feel that you are getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Relevant, are you marking your pathway in any kind of way?
Oh, fuck.
Maybe making a note or some sort of map or anything?
No. In my mind, I've kind of been imagining us using like the right hand or left hand rule, where you just follow a wall.
Yeah, sure. Cool. I'll let you know when that becomes relevant. And eventually you get yourself to a point where you are in a hall and you see the stone of the side of the tunnel broken in places, and there's this person-ish sized hole in the side of it, and your premonition has tuned itself from a dull, aching curiosity to a single thin needle of pain in your temple.
I think we're here.
I think Sebastian just goes straight in.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, what's here to see?
Yeah.
You know.
So, through this like breakage in the wall is this like weird little chamber. It's maybe 25 feet square. Very much constructed effectively out of the space between these tunnels. But rather than being solid stone, it was hollowed out, so there's just space in here. There is a raised slab table kind of thing in the center of the room at like a 10-degree angle. There's some detritus on the ground. There's some maybe soot, maybe ash, maybe some like weird scratches. If you would like, you may give me investigation, occult, medicine.
I think if I roll, it's to like help confirm what Sebastian is already thinking, because just from what you're describing, it feels very like dentist office, doctor's office sort of thing.
That's a pretty solid vibe.
Dentist. Vampire dentist.
Is
Spooky.
there? Yeah. Is there
Thanks.
anything else that's like of note in here? Is it just kind of there?
If you want to know, you're gonna have to make some rolls.
I would love to make some rolls.
Yeah, so yeah, medicine, investigation, occult. I'll even give you science and wits or intelligence. I might even give you resolve, just for like if you want to be very thorough and take a bunch of time just like literally poring over this place. Same goes for Constance.
I don't say actually. Can I just like what I want to do actually is come up. If Sebastian is coming in, I'll follow close behind.
Your Auspex triggers as soon as you walk into the room.
Oh, what?
Your Auspex triggers as soon as you walk into the room.
My Auspex?
Auspex. Or the, the thing that gives you visions.
My premonition.
Premonition, yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to... I was about to say, I want to lay my hands on the fucking table. Yeah.
Joke's on you, you don't have to. You get a clearer vision of this space with none of the people in it. You don't see any forms or even visualize people, bodies, figures, forms. It's all just sensation. So you feel cold and stabbing and burning and tightness and restriction and sharpness and a very specific kind of euphoria and scratching and pulling and just rattlingly echoing screaming. Can you actually give me like a resolve?
Resolve. Resolve. I'm scared.
Resolve composure. To
Resolve
double
composure.
abilities.
Okay. Oh gosh, okay. I hold on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then okay. Let me roll this one dice separately because it has to be a 100 die. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. 10, 6, or 10, 9, 6. 2 10s actually. Damn. 1, 2, and then my 100 die was 7. Jesus Christ.
That's 7 hit, 7 successes.
Yeah, 10, 10, 9, 6, 2, and then a 1. And then a 7 on the hunger.
Yeah, that's 7. So you don't take any willpower damage. And you can push through it and push down. You can basically tell that this premonition has been trying to push its way fully into your mind for as long as you have had it, and as soon as it gets the chance, it just attempts to overwhelm your mind as soon as it can. But you manage to steel yourself against it. And because you rolled so well, you note 2 things. One, that the floor is absolutely marked, and in an intentional way of some kind. And also, there is a very faded but still relevant streak of blood stain out of the hole of the chamber and down the wall. And you remember specifically the spot on the wall where you saw some weird uniformed figure swab the wall.
Right. Okay. On the outside, Constance probably looks like she's in fucking agony. Like, she's just, like, holding her head and her eyes are shut tight. And then she just, like, snapped out of it and, looks back at Sister Mary and just, like, points at the ground for her to, like, use the flashlight.
Sister Mary does, and, like, points at it and looks at it and, like, starts kind of tracing around the room, and you can see that there is a circle drawn on the floor with symbols inside of it in some kind of waxy substance.
Do you recognize it?
I mentioned that warding circle against spirits?
Is it?
That's that.
Can you tell that is it active?
As long as it's not broken on the line, and kind of like does another look around and like, yeah, it's fine.
Right.
You notice that, like, while you're in the room, you see no ghosts.
Okay. Constance? She's gonna do something so fucking ill-advised. She is going to walk back out into that hall and find... Is the blood streak still there?
Yeah, it's really faint and very dried.
Hmm.
Do you want to lick it?
I do want to lick it.
Okay.
I want to lick the wall. I want to
Uh,
use my a taste for blood.
Just the. That's not a ritual, correct? It's simply
It's
a
not a
discipline.
ritual. It's just something that I could do.
Yeah.
By tasting a drop of blood, the user can discern basic traits of the one to whom it belongs. So it's a resolve plus blood? What does that mean?
Blood sorcery.
Resolve? Oh, okay.
So this is gonna be. So here's the thing. Yes, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, because it's okay.
But you're gonna need Sister Mary's help a little bit because there's just like not. It's not liquid and it's a lot harder. But like Sister
Yeah.
Mary can do some stuff to it to help with that.
Okay.
And if you point it out and like gesture to that being the thing you want to do, she will absolutely help you out with that.
Yes, I'll kind of beckon her back over. This is a strange request. If there is anything you can do to... I need to be able to taste this blood, she gestures at the wall.
Yes. Yeah, I can. It'll take a minute. It'll take a moment, but I can figure that out. I think. And she like immediately starts like rummaging into bags and pulling. She pulls out one of the candles of coagulated vitae and like a little like mortar and pestle and like some like a vial of something, and immediately is just like. She starts like rubbing the bottom end of the candle against it, and then like using a little tool to like scrape bits of it into the mortar and pestle so that the dried blood comes off with the wax.
Well, yeah. It's
into
picked
the
up
little
by
bowl.
the, yeah.
Yeah. And just like says to work doing that stuff like that. Sebastian, they're doing like weird blood sorcery shit.
Yeah, he definitely would have followed when Sister Constance walked out, and he's just kind of watching this. He doesn't really have any thoughts about it. He doesn't really say anything. He's just watching.
I'm about to eat this old blood.
I need to read a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Resonance and intensity.
Vampire.
Vampire. Supernatural creature. Relative blood potency.
It does have like levels of success or failure.
Yeah.
Click.
Excellent. So, she performs this little process. So she pulls the wax into the thing, mixes it with this like kind of oily fluid, and then lights the other end of the candle and holds it very close to the little pestle that like melts the wax, but it doesn't melt into melted wax. It starts to melt into this weird liquid that starts like melding and mixing, and then she extinguishes the lit wick of the candle in the liquid and stirs it with the tip of the candle, and it like as it mixes and it starts to form what looks like fresh blood. And she's just like, oh, all right, and hands the little bowl to you.
Yeah, Constance just takes like the tip of her pinky and places it in the vitae and then places it on her tongue.
All right, go ahead and roll resolve plus blood sorcery for me.
Resolve. And let's see. 9, 8, 6, 4.
So that's 3 successes. So this is the blood of. You don't get to know exactly who they are. It is kindred vitae. It is not mortal blood.
Okay.
Nor is it the blood of any other supernatural creature.
Alright.
You get to know the relative blood potency. Blood potency 1. So around your generation.
I can't discern clan.
So there's a ritual called Blood Walk. But that's much harder.
Yeah.
Because it requires a rouse check's worth of blood.
Yeah. I don't have that one.
And also I think it also doesn't even tell you that.
Yeah. Wait, did I...
You get the resonance and intensity. That doesn't apply because they're kindred.
Right.
I'm definitely going to give you more information, regardless of what the book tells me I can or not. It's Malkavian blood.
Okay.
And with that taste, the thing I want to do specifically is it links you. We mentioned that your premonition about this place and your use of auspex within the presence of Sylvia, and particularly her participation in forcing through this premonition specifically, which was very painful for you, gave you just like a hint of connection to the cobweb. And you get this very specific thing out of that, which is you feel after tasting this blood the severed connection to the cobweb. That there was a Malkavian here connected to the cobweb that is no longer. The other thing you get tasting this blood is that they
hold on. You are...
come on.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
No.
I know. Can't
Is Matt the same?
You are sounds. You are sounds with no meaning.
Is it back? Is it better?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh.
That was weird. I hate my internet sometimes. You get the one severed connection. You also feel 2 additional connections to the cobweb that were here and are not, but were not severed.
Oh, what? Okay. Oh, is that a thread I can pull on? Can I, like... Oh, that's tantalizing. So they were here, but nothing seemed to happen to them. They just happened to be here.
There were other connections to the cobweb in this room.
Okay.
Did y'all want to do any like practical investigation?
I will. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we're here doing like magic.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. 2 successes.
2 successes is pretty good. Yeah, one thing you notice is like these like rings for more like slats for like straps attached to either side of this like weird stone table. The straps appear to be missing, but like the connection points for them were still there. And the around the room, some of the weird debris, you find these weird little, like, burned out cylindrical caps. That, I don't see any reason you couldn't recognize this. They're, like, road flares. Burned out road flares.
Weird.
Huh.
Is there any sort of, like, common knowledge between kindred of, like, things that maybe aren't the sun but can still hurt them?
Fire.
I mean, yeah, fire. I guess
high heat.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of things, even most very deadly things, like, still hurt kindred very badly.
mean,
It just
yeah.
won't kill them.
Right.
Like, acid bad. Do not
Yeah.
dunk a vampire in acid. They'll be very angry. But there's some debate about whether it'll actually, like, give the vampire a final death.
Mm.
I think I walk back out of the room and I ask, I try to see whether they're done with whatever the fuck they were doing.
It seems so.
Yeah. I think Constance just stands and, just kind of... I think that I can more or less confirm that this belonged to the victim that was described to me.
Okay.
But
What's the, what are you thinking about this place?
that it's a place of darkness? That something terrible and evil happened here?
I don't disagree. Feels very torture chamber-esque or science experiment.
The moment I walked into that room, I felt almost every sensation imaginable, good and bad, and just heard screams echoing.
Okay, so science experiment / torture chamber. Yeah, that checks out.
I feel no closer to the truth, though.
Well, there's hardly anything to glean from this place. I mean, there's nothing left behind. There's just streaks of blood and fucking a carved out stone chamber, you know.
If it's all the same to everyone else, I think...
I want to give y'all a chance at an idea roll.
Because
there is an aggregate of clues that could lead you to something, but there's no good organic way to say, like, your characters might have figured this out. Just like wits intelligence, the two of those together.
Wits.
I got 1 success.
Okay.
Just give me... I got 8, 7, 7, 3, and then 1 on my hunger die.
Okay. Yeah. Sebastian, you're about in the same place. Yeah, like weird is torture chambery, science, whatever. Constance, you've had more time to ruminate on the Nosferatu report. And the combination of if you have shared information, because if Sebastian has shared their observances, the fact that the decapitation was very clean, that they were drained of vitae, that the table was fitted for straps, and the like use of a kind of non-standard burning implement, broadly speaking, implies medical.
Okay.
Some level of medical expertise or involvement. In addition to you knowing that there were at least 2 other Malkavians here at some point.
And
Which is not so much like that's not supposed to spark anything in aggregate. It's just like that is information that you
Notable.
can
Okay.
get from this.
Would I be aware? So with the ritual. Oh, bless you. That scared me. With the ritual circle, would I understand that that's something that is kind of specific to Tremere? Or is that just kind of something
possibly
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, you would. You would know. Yeah, that like
Because it is blood sorcery, right?
It is blood sorcery. It is a blood sorcery ritual, and it's not that like.
I mean, it could be a Tremere working with other people.
Sure,
like I know,
yeah,
like that. Like it doesn't tell me exactly, but it's like, well, now we know that okay, a Tremere had to draw the circle at least.
Yeah,
so
basically, yeah.
Okay.
No, I think that's a reasonable conclusion to draw. I did think of and kind of make a decision there on like, can other people just draw blood sorcery? Like, can it... But no, it is very explicitly.
Right, that seems...
No, there was another Tremere here, and you know that for sure.
No,
Don't really necessarily know when or where, because like the setup of the room and what happened in the room are potentially different events. But yeah.
Yeah, so Sebastian being very much like clueless about this, I think he would probably say something along the lines of like, do we know if mortals got a hold of this person, or are we taking...
I can't confirm nor deny the presence of mortals, but I know a few things. I know a Tremere had to make this circle. The circle is a thing that only a Tremere can make extant, real, make it work. And I also know that there were at one point it's all very vague when I get these flashes, these insights. There were 2 other Malkavians here, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of their complicitness. We do know someone had to find them. They felt... I don't quite understand how much they would have felt or known, but to get the information that I knew coming in, they would have had to have seen something, known something.
Oh,
that could have been fellow Malkavians investigating their, clanmate's disappearance.
So
I'm gonna give you an explicit on no.
No.
No, you know that like because of the way you were connected to the cobweb, when the thread was extinguished, the other 2 threads were there. Same
at the same time. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that there wasn't a sense of time. Okay.
No, in this scenario there is.
Okay. Scratch that. Rewind. There were 2 other Malkavian presences at the same time. But again, that is all I know.
So Sylvia didn't find the body. How did you come to know of it?
Man, Sylvia's gonna fucking skin me alive. I hate lying. Constance doesn't like to lie. You know, I'm trying to decide if she even has this like piece of paper just on her. Like, I don't think she would have kept it. I think she would have given it back to Sylvia.
Yeah, I think as far as the physical document, Sylvia still has control.
Sylvia still has it. There's a document that describes all of this. Or at least what others were able to glean. If you want to know more, I suggest asking Sylvia when it becomes pertinent.
I would say it's pertinent now.
I'm trying to... How much would she even remember of this? Because I don't know, because Constance doesn't really
say
even
most
have...
of it. You probably won't know a lot of the proper... Like, I don't think you'd remember the names.
Right, like, she doesn't know who Raze is. She doesn't know who
you don't know
of...
who Raze or Juanica or, like, Theodore. Or, like, no, you don't know any of that. But you know, like, the notes, and you'll know the clans.
Right. The document itself came from the Nosferatu. That much I remember.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, that's fascinating. They just offered that information? That's very unlike them.
I suppose that they felt for Sylvia and her clan. I don't know what their
Clan
relationship was like.
Nosferatu, known for their empathy.
Yeah, really.
I don't claim to understand what their relationship may be. Sylvia is important. She plays the game, as far as I'm aware.
Sebastian pulls out his notebook. And he writes, Nosferatu offering aid freely. And just flips it shut, shoves it back in his pocket. Actually, scratch that. He writes the same thing, puts a question mark next to it.
Freely? Question mark?
Like it's both a reminder for him and like something he's confused about. Interesting. I wonder if it's possible. Oh, of course, they'd want something for it, but I wonder if it's possible if they would know any more information. We must be close to their territory if they're the ones who found it.
Oh gosh. I believe that you're correct. I think that's right in a sense, but I'm afraid of going blundering into something I don't quite understand this city and everyone in it yet.
Fair. I suppose I shouldn't be making the judgment calls on this either. It's Sylvia's directive. So, we've gotten what we've came for. What little it was.
More or less.
Sebastian pulls out the little, like, sword covering and puts his sword back in it, ties it up, slings it back over his back.
Can we get a sense of, like, what the time is?
Late. You met up at 2.
Yeah, we sure fucking did. I don't know why we chose 2 in the morning.
So it's getting close to morning, broadly speaking.
Mm.
Like, you're probably going to start heading towards your havens.
Yeah.
Or sleep here.
Nada. Yeah, Sister Constance is like, let's get out of here hastily.
I like that plan.
You do.
Follows the whole.
Or do you? That's a real question. So you were kind of keeping track. The fact that you were following a rule helps somewhat. But I'm going to need the two of you to make... intelligence survival.
Oh, jeez. So both of us?
Yeah.
I'd like to rouse the blood.
Please do.
I succeed.
You do. Add 2 to your dice pool.
I'm just gonna make a shitty roll.
Woo! Barely.
You know what? Okay. I'm not mad at it. That was a 10, a 7, and a 3.
2 ain't bad.
Yeah, I got 2 successes.
I think with the two of you together, you don't... The best I can say is you don't get lost.
Okay.
You make it back out, but by the time you get out, it's like 3, 4 a.m. You're really running out of time.
Okay.
Mary's right on your tail.
Is Doug still there?
Yeah. He's in the car. He's listening to I don't know blues musicians. Oh no. He's listening to the radio. He's not listening to WKQX 101.
It's not unusual.
No, God.
Oh.
Sebastian pulls his katana back out.
Oh my god.
No. Yeah, do I know if we have time to like drop them off at Tartarus and get me home?
Yeah, you've
Get
got time.
us home? Okay.
Doug
Then-
speeds a little bit.
Good.
But the two of you get home in reasonable enough time. Can you give me a wits awareness roll, both of you?
Let's... Oh, where?
I got a single success.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that dice went flying. Holy shit. I will have to retrieve it in a moment. Ooh, fuck. Okay. That was not my best roll of the night. 5, 3, 1, 1, and then a 5 on my hunger die.
5, 3. So that's 0 successes.
Yeah, I
But
fucked
no
up.
ones on your hunger dice.
Yeah, not on my hunger die.
So very close to a crit fail.
Yeah,
but not
that
actually
was-
a crit fail.
Phew.
So as soon as you breach the outside and start heading toward the car, both of your sense the unseen goes off.
Oh, shit.
And you know that you're being watched. But because of your wits awareness rolls, you don't know from where. You just know that you've been spotted. By some kind of supernatural something.
Unseen force. Why would an unseen force care to follow us? Or a supernatural force?
Constance just puts a little more haste in her step.
Sebastian pulls out his notebook and writes down followed.
All right.
God.
Yeah. You're just driving back to your respective havens?
I would tell Doug to bring them to Tartarus unless they had instructed otherwise.
feel like that the church is there. It just feels like such fucking. It has to. Like concealing it seems like such a hard thing to do. Like it seems like it's such a. It would be such a weird landmark.
There are a lot of churches in Chicago. There are
True.
a lot of churches in Chicago.
True.
There are probably multiple, like, nice cathedral-ass convents, like, in Sylvia's domain. I would say, like, 3, probably.
Just gotta guess which one.
Play fucking
Yeah, in that case,
spot the lady.
she would probably, yeah, she would probably just let the driver take us back to Tartarus. So.
Okay. Yeah, Doug brings you back to Tartarus. And then, yeah, drops you off. Drops you and Mary off. It's getting late enough that you might want to spend the night at Tartarus.
I was about to say, I think
Or the day.
we probably just don't leave. I think we just end up staying here.
Sure. And Sebastian, you've probably got just enough time to get back to your haven.
I actually, if I have the time, do we have time to get to Malpheus?
Just barely.
Okay. I would like to do that.
Yeah, you do. You manage to get to Malpheus's haven, which is in kind of the South Loop Arts Corridor. I think he has a haven and residency in it's like a swanky ass little private art studio, basically. He's got like recording booths and instruments and shit. And you manage to basically like slip in there like right before both of you start going like, ah, cool, it's time to become asleep. And he's just kind of the like, oh, it's been a while since you've come. And both of you like drift off to undeath, unsleep. I don't know. I assume you have like a couch to crash on, or like there.
Oh yeah. Malpheus
hosts guests, I'm sure. So this is not a stretch for him. And I think that's where I want to call it for tonight.
All right.
Longer session than I was expecting. But it was good. Stars and Wishes. Matt.
I have a lot of stars. I mean, I had mentioned to you in private that I just was excited to jump into this character. I'm enjoying myself. I really like Sebastian.
Good.
I like that there's like intrigue already with his personal private life. That is there for me to investigate and potentially be worried about as a character. And I enjoyed I enjoyed being able to like have conversation with Constance.
Yeah.
Because Silas never did.
No, I was mentioning that right before you came in. I was like, it's so funny that we barely got to interact as Silas and Constance, but now that Silas is gone, we get our own little session.
Yeah.
That was amusing to me.
So I like the weird, like it's almost a tense dynamic between them. Well, Sebastian doesn't feel that way, but I feel like Constance does.
Mostly because Constance doesn't know what information to reveal to you or not. I think she actually kind of likes you, though, in a weird way. I think you're different. You're a very different person than what she's used to encountering.
I guess I appreciate that. But yeah, those are my stars. This is just a really fun session. And wishes, I wish the coterie could have been here.
Don't we all?
And I wish I don't know what I wish exactly. I wish I have two more wishes. One, I'd like to spend more time in Sebastian's private life. Not that tonight wasn't enough, but that was
It's
just
created
fun
intrigue.
and exciting. And also, and this is not necessarily a wish, but I just kind of hope that I straddled the line correctly, and like I want to have a conversation with Malpheus about being followed, because that to me is like concerning.
I'd be concerned.
Yeah, especially because it's like not human following; it's something else.
Yeah,
So
probably not
but
just
yeah.
like a cop, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, because my thought, just to continue this line of thought, like my thought was like, oh, maybe we got spotted by the Second Inquisition, but then it was like, oh wait, this is Sense the Unseen. Uh-oh. You know. So yeah, that's those are my wishes. So
Cool. Hand in hand.
Yeah.
Stars and wishes.
Stars. We got to play. We got to play.
It's been a while.
I just like when we get to roleplay so much. That's just always my favorite. I liked meeting a new player character. That's just always exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I like this session. I like this game.
It's a good game.
Wishes. Probably just the same. It's just like I am like no, I don't. No one should feel bad for doing what they have to do. You know, like it's hard. I do hope that we can find a way to get everyone in on what's going on.
I think we will.
Mm.
I know that a lot of people are doing lots of different job stuff. Like Matt, you're doing dealer. Have you done much dealer school stuff yet?
yeah, the fourth week just ended.
Oh, how's that?
It's going really well. Thank
Cool.
you.
Good.
It's
That's
I'm
awesome.
kind of like still learning, still not the best at it, but I think I'm right where I should be because everybody else seems to be kind of in the same spot
Cool.
as me. So it's taken a lot out of me. Like I called off work today because I was like, I'm fucking exhausted. I can't do this. You know,
And
it's
UI
like,
has to close a lot.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Caroline
Eli
does-
works night shifts constant. I think Caroline got a new job or has been
Yeah.
doing a lot, and I'm coming in on the 5th week of my new job, which is the first time I've had a 5-day 9 to 5 for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of that, but yeah, I'm hoping we'll be able to keep coming back to this, and if it becomes a little less frequent, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think one thing I tried to do a little bit in this session, and something I think I'm going to continue trying to do for future sessions is just injecting some more velocity into the game and just being like, you know what? Subtleties for fuckers. We're gonna start giving people a lot bigger hints about like what's going on and like getting the ball rolling.
I was to say, I know that we had kind of talked about it outside of session, but I guess like Wish version 0.5 is just like getting people's touchstones in here.
Yeah.
Like we just haven't really even touched it yet. Like for anyone, really.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
not fully true.
That's not fully
Well,
true. We did for Sebastian.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. And it's the kind of thing where like I have plans, but I need to start going those from plans of just like I have a list of stuff I'm gonna do this session. That's just gonna happen.
Things are gonna start happening.
But yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool.
I'm gonna hit the record button.
Wait, what about your stars and wishes?
All
Yeah,
right, my
you,
stars
you,
and wishes.
your turn.
A lot of similar wishes. I feel like the thing I just said for a while was probably wishes. It's just like, just like stuff I would like to do and intend to do. Boy, do I love describing supernatural weird shit. It's fun. I love it every time. Premonitions are fun. Sensory descriptions are fun. Describing ghosts and little rituals and things, that's fun. And I think a lot of that, the reason I enjoy that too, is just like fantasy roots, right? Like I've been GMing D&D for long enough that I like doing weird little magical mischievous shit.
Good.
Which is a lot of fun. I felt like I had some really good roleplay this session.
Yeah.
Doug was fun to play, Martha was fun to play, Mary was fun to play. Also, distinct personalities. I like... I took Martha in a direction, or not Martha, Mary in a direction I wasn't super intending, but as soon as I kind of got on that, I'm just like, no, yeah, this is kind of who this character is now. Is like...
It's funny.
I'm kind of leaning into the fact that she is much more a magical student. She's much more a traditional Tremere than she is like a member of the Order.
Yeah.
More of a blood wizard than a blood nun. I hope that the intrigue was interesting. I hope that the clues have given you something of a direction, or at least something to go talk to other people about.
Yeah.
And then go get some more information about.
Yeah, some of that clarification really helped.
Yeah. Yeah, I want everyone to come together and play my RPG again. That would be really nice. I would enjoy that. I'll take what I can fucking get, and I guess I'll fill in the rest with just more RPGs for whoever can make it. Time to do the thing I've always been threatening to do, which is run concurrent campaigns.
Oh, Lord.
Become a mad person.
Games.
I am actually going to stop recording now.
Okay.